Warning. Warning. Warning.
Get ready to rumble! Step into the war zone! 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 Step into the war zone!
What is going on, everybody? Tony Tucker from the Warzone Sports Network here. Ready for game two. Technical difficulties. Please excuse me. I am an old man, and technology hates me. People in the comments wondering what's going on. It's because they left everything in the hands of an old man, and I'm struggling, waiting for help. HQ, who's excited? I'm excited. Clippers off to a good start. Up 8-4. Looking aggressive. Glad to see Marcus Morris Sr. out there. Shots gotta fall. But we've all seen how fast Phoenix can just turn it on. And as soon as I say that, campaign up and under with a bucket. Did we forget? We didn't forget. Like I said, I'm just old. I'm just old. Kevin Piggybank, thank you. Piggybank pick, stop by. Thank you, sir. Ayton putting the ball on the floor. Tying the game at 8. Clippers up 5 early. Checking it on the old comment. That lead evaporated very quickly. Keep the comments coming. Let me know who you guys have in this game. My pick was the Clippers to get the series even tonight. 114 to 108. Clippers with some good ball movement and Paul George clank. But yeah, I thought they would have a real shot to get even tonight, as long as they tried to force the other Clippers to beat him. That's what I wanted to see, was getting to Devin Booker before he was able to, get in the mid-range, gather, and be able to make big shots. So, a boy can dream. But really, I'm rooting for agony. Like, either way. Like, I don't really care. Like, who wins, just as long as it's devastating. That won to the team that lost. Campaign. Oh, Campaign is just like harnessing his inner Chris Paul. Like, he just continues to play great. The dude's unstoppable. He was playing in China like 8 months ago. And now he's starting and playing big minutes in the Western Conference Finals. And just made another big shot just now. I have SUNS because I don't think Paul George is good enough to carry the team on his own. HQ, did you not watch the Jazz? He was pretty good in game 1. I think the downfall for George in game 1 was that he stopped being as aggressive. Like, he wasn't attacking the same way that he was attacking in the Jazz series. That was the downfall. But if he can continue to try and draw fouls, kick it out. Guys have to make shots. They didn't make shots. Reggie Jackson, Morris Sr., if Kennard gets in the game tonight, I mean, we've already seen that he made everybody. Joe's on vacation. Mike's living the high life. I invited some other people in. Nobody else has showed up, but we just wanted to continue on the live anyway. And HQ, we appreciate you coming in here. I do believe Mike may show up at some point. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm also curious as to, like, the people who jump in and out of this chat, like, if your team ended up in the lottery. what pick did they get? And who are you hoping for? Like it seems pretty standard that everybody just believes Cade Cunningham will be the first overall pick, and that's what I would do. But it is the Pistons after all. And when I was a kid, I grew up a Pistons fan. They had the second overall pick and could have had Carmelo Anthony, and they took Darko Milicic. Broke this young man's heart. Although I wasn't really that young. It was kind of like I was already on my own, living in a big city, making my own money. But yeah, I am curious. Fel K in the house. Fel K, who you got tonight, brother? Who you got? HQ's already said that he thinks that he thinks PG isn't that good. Nick Mack, Nick, see you at halftime. I appreciate that. I hope you can swing it with the family. I get it. You got stuff going on. Fel K says he's got the Clippers. All right, we're on the same side of this, Fel, because I don't think you really go down 3 consecutive series 2-0. Like, they have to find a way to figure it out and get it moving in the right direction in this game. And I think also if you're the Clippers, you got to find a way to just be happy. Not be happy, but be okay with the idea that, like, Cam Payne might hit some threes. Bridges might knock down some threes. Cam Johnson might come off the bench and knock down threes. Fel K taking it one step further. He's like, I don't care about tonight. Not just tonight. I'm going Clippers in 7 games. I like that pick. And I was really encouraged in game 1. We didn't talk about this on the last stream during game 7 too much, but I was really encouraged with what I saw from the Clippers, even though they lost. Because that was a pretty tough turnaround. Emotion. We'll see what comes out of timeout. We got some aggression by Morris Sr. We're back from the break. And Zubats battling down low with Ayton. Clippers are going to maintain the ball. They get a little refresh on the shot clock back to 14 seconds. Booker arguing. Get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, I was encouraged by what I saw in game 1 from the Clippers. They had it right there. Oh, great defense. Ball on the floor. They're calling a jump ball. That is great. Oh, we got a double tech on Paul George and Crowder. And, of course, Crowder's confused every time somebody calls a foul on him for anything. HQ, what do we got? If Kawhi doesn't come back and CP3 does, the Suns are going to win, no questions. I'm kind of with this too. That's why I've reserved any long-term predictions on this series. Because if CP3 comes back, he's the difference maker. We've already seen it. In the Jazz, he was just dribbling to either elbow and getting any shot he wanted in the mid-range. And we've already seen how devastating that was a shove. I don't know if any of that was technical worthy. Thanks a lot, Scott Foster. That's the thing I don't like about early technical fouls either. You take any of the chippiness, any of the competitive edge, because they have to watch it. They don't want to hurt their team, get another tech, and then be gone. Jumping all over the place. Yeah, if Kawhi can't come back and CP3 does get back by game 3 or 4, I think it could be a short series for the Clippers if they don't get a victory tonight. Reggie Jackson putting in work, getting a little bit of a shooter's bounce. CP3 is like the only vet, though. Well, Crowder's a good vet. I do hear what you're saying. They are relying a lot on young guys. But that hasn't really stopped them yet. And I know that I'm going to catch a bunch of flack if I'm in here saying that the Suns wouldn't even have got past the Lakers if AD doesn't get injured, so I won't travel down that road. I'll make that. I did throw it out there just now, but you get what I'm saying. I want to see Joe's face after the Clippers win. You know what? I might just have him. He's on vacation, but I'll reach out to him via text and I'll ask for just a screenshot for him to send it in. Joe's sad face. Or maybe we can all just get together and create a meme of Joe, a sad face Joe meme. I think he would appreciate that. Ruining his vacation. I'll blow up his phone. Come on, George, attack. Tag. Yeah, this is what I gotta see this tonight. I gotta see Paul George continue to be aggressive. He got the hair redone. He got new rows. They're tight. He looks fresh. Now he's got to play fresh. We got a 12-11 lead. Clippers 5-13 in the first. Another weak foul. They're officiating this game pretty tight. Pretty tight at the jump. I don't think that doesn't fare well for the Clippers because they're big and long and aggressive. HQ, there are rumors the Celtics get Cat, but I highly doubt it. I would actually love that. I would love that move for both parties. Oh! With like a half-court alley-oop to Ayton. And the foul. And now Terance Mann just trying to say something to Devin Booker, but the refs are separating. The refs are being very, kind of like, they're like helicopter parents right now. Like, relax. Let them play. Let them talk. Let them get chippy. Let them talk a little trash. It's fun. I don't think any of these guys are going to be punching each other in the face. Let them get a little rugged. Ayton feeling himself right now after catching that alley-oop from Crowder. Getting the foul on Zubats. I don't know. I think Ayton's got like 4 quick points, so the whole move to Zubats might not be so great. We'll see. Bring in Batum. Hit some threes. PG being aggressive. Putting his shoulder into the chest of Crowder. And saying, tell me how my tattoos taste. Sucker. Knocking him to the ground. All right, Felt, let me catch up on these comments. Oh, yeah, Cat. I didn't even finish that thought. Cat going to the Celtics, they haven't had a center since, like, I don't know, Bill Walton. I guess, like, KG, but he's like a power forward. And Kendrick Perkins was more defensive. So, like, offensive centers, I can't really remember who it is. And then also, like, that would be a great combo to go with Jason Tatum. And then play a point guard. And like I was saying, they never should have let Terry Rozier go. I don't know. I'm still confused by that. So I love that. I don't know if it's going to happen either, but I like that. Felke, if Kawhi was here, the Clippers in 6, maybe 5? That's I don't know. I don't know about that one, bro. The Suns are still playing good basketball. All right, HQ, he agrees. 5 or 6. Maybe I'm the dope. Rule 1 of the NBA, don't assume anything. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good rule. I assume that Kawhi would be back by now, but Kawhi has always been kind of weird with the injuries. So, like, how do we know? That's why somebody asked me today, how long do you think this series goes? If CP3 is back in Game 3 and the Clippers don't win tonight, we might not even have Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals and this series could be over. Oh, I don't know what this is as a player or a fan. Maybe you're referencing something I said, but I really don't know it. Cecilia, back from the Philippines, I believe. Go Clippers. Oh, yeah, she was a Clippers fan. I felt like I was taking personal attacks as we were watching the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell. My pick to go to the NBA Finals be knocked out by the Clippers, by the hated fellow Los Angeles team and the Clippers. Welcome back, Cecilia. Thank you for stopping in here. And I picked the Clippers this game too. Like if it's just you and I chatting, nobody else is watching. I picked the Clippers too. Don't tell any of my family members that I picked the Clippers. But I a lot of times people use that cliche. It's a must-win game. It really feels like a must-win game. You got to win one of the two games that Chris Paul might be out. Does anybody know how long Chris Paul might be out? That was something I was going to look at before the game that I forgot. HQ is predicting a final score of 15-14 Suns. Is somehow that would be the greatest game in NBA history. I'm predicting the final score is 15-14. Somehow that will go down the most memorable, the worst offensive, but the best defensive game of all time. 15-14. Clippers need redemption from last year. Yes. Yeah, they do. I think they got a little bit of it. They've got a little bit momentum in the right direction. Like a couple of the people I was talking to today, and I kind of agreed with it. I need a little more time to process it fully, but they were saying, like, down 0-2 in both of those series, they wouldn't have won them with Doc. Like, if Doc Rivers was still the coach, he doesn't believe the Game 3 adjustment that Ty Lue made would have happened under Doc Rivers. That Ty Lue should get a little more credit for coaching. And if you look at it on the other side, like Doc, again, did not make the same adjustments or the needed adjustments to get past the Atlanta Hawks, a fifth seed in the East. So there was some valid points to that. This is a low-scoring game. Yes, it is. I wonder if that's, Booker trying to get it going. He's getting inside. He's getting called for an offensive foul on Terance Mann. Gets it right up underneath him. Let me see if I agree with this. He turned with the left elbow. This feels kind of like a weak call. Yeah, that's a weak call on Booker. I don't like that. You guys know how I feel. I don't like Devin Booker right now. Me and him are on the outs because he gave the business to the purple and gold, but that's not a foul. I'm just glad they didn't review it. SUNS has the worst logo in the NBA. Really? I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm not a big fan of the T-Wolves logo. Terance Mann, it was unorthodox but effective. Getting the offensive foul, or drawing the offensive foul on the other side, and then comes back, makes a nifty little bucket. The Ben Simmons slander needs to stop. He shot 100% in fourth quarters against the Bucks. That's right. In 4 straight games, Ben Simmons was 100% from the field in fourth quarters. Michael Jordan never did that. Huh? Kobe Bryant never did that. Those are some real stats you're bringing, HQ. I like it. PG, another 3-point miss. PG, you had success putting your shoulder down and going to the rack. Continue to be aggressive, my friend. Devin Booker being aggressive on the drive, but he's going to miss. Ayton there to clean it up. DeAndre Ayton. Let's talk about DeAndre Ayton a little bit. A lot of people were saying what kind of mistake pick that was, and playing the best, most consistent basketball of his life since the playoffs started. Clippers has the best perimeter defense in the league. It is really good. Even without Kawhi, Terance Mann has stepped in pretty nicely. Who's that, a missed 3? But I missed it. I didn't see who pulled that one. Oh, shit. I got to look up number 55. There we go. PG put the ball on the floor against an undersized defender. Has to be like that all night. I want to see a series, no matter what. I don't want to see them go through the Clippers in 5. The same way I wouldn't want to see that. I want to see a game 6 or 7, and I want to see Chris Paul earn it. That also just brings out more emotion. Like, just imagine Chris Paul in a heap at the end of a game 7 where he's going to get to go to his first NBA Finals 16 years into his career, beating COVID, at home making TikTok videos with his kids, famous via State Farm. That's fun. That's what I want to see. But I can see that. And I think that is something they need to continue to use to their advantage. Oh, that's just lackadaisical basketball. Cam Johnson playing heads up, realizing Morris was looking up court to try and start a fast break, sneaks in, and goes a little old school pickpocket. He's not using that. He's not getting into his crypto wallet. He's going into his old school wallet and just yanking, taking that cash from him. Anybody ever been pickpocketed before? I claim that I have, but I really believe that I was just at a festival in my early 20s and just dropped $80 out of my pocket because I was drunk. But I claimed for like 15 years that I was pickpocketed just because it was a better story than me being inebriated and losing $80. Here we go. We got a hot take coming. We got a hot take. Moving it. Move. Good ball movement. Reggie Jackson. Boom! I just scared my dog. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Daddy's just excited about the basketball game. Freaked out my dog. Nobody called PETA. Just yell. You yell one time, the dog freaks out. Reggie Jackson's been very impressive, too. All right, here we go. Let me read this hot take. But the Suns kind of reliant on teams getting injured. That's just the shots fired. That's just you saying that, like, they're only here because of the injury bug plays for the Phoenix Suns this year. And you know what? In a private conversation, I may actually agree with that one a little bit harder. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. They haven't went against a healthy team yet. Yeah, they haven't. But sometimes that's just kind of that's the role you get. Do I think Dame will leave the Blazers? I don't know if I think it, but I hope it. I hope it with all my being. I'm not a fan of people being like, I'm super loyal. I stay around because these professional athletes, it's not like that for them. They don't get the same. I'm loyal to my friends and my family and stuff like that, people who deserve loyalty. But an organization, yes, they're paying you lots of money, and yes, the fans may love you or whatever. Campaign cruising in here, and he gets one to go. Extends the lead to 3. We're going to get a heave from Terance Mann. Double clutch. Comes up short. Doesn't have the Jalen Suggs in him. All right. 3-point lead by the Phoenix Suns. Let me finish on Dame Lillard during the commercial break here. If teams and organizations were more loyal and they were going to keep you forever and all of that stuff and guarantee your contracts and just wonderful, then yes, then I get the loyalty. But the moment that you're not good or injured or whatever, like, they're going to move on from you. And do I really want to see Dame Lillard play his entire career in Portland and never win? Because nobody else is coming to Portland. It was the same thing with LeBron when he was in Cleveland the first time. Nobody wanted to go to Cleveland. The second time around in Cleveland, he knew Kyrie was already there, and he knew that he could trade for or get however they acquired Kevin Love. So I don't know if he leaves, but I hope he leaves. And I would like to see the Blazers actually get some young talent in return for him. Why not? Steph is super loyal. I believe that he is loyal too, and I believe that he definitely wants to have a legacy. There was somebody commented in here on one of these chats one night and said that he was going to go to the Lakers, and I think it was Fell who also said how loyal he was. The only place I could see him going to is Charlotte. I could see him going back, like being able to put on the same jersey his old man wore and play in a place where he grew up. spent a lot of his childhood. Yeah, Nick, I agree with you, bud. There isn't really an answer for Ayton, and you saw Lou tried the adjustment to put Zubats in at the beginning of this game, and he's still catching lobs from half court. So Zubats is Zubac, however I say his name. I'm out. I don't need him. Ronald Payton, new commenter. I'm not seeing this one, but I appreciate you jumping in here. Paul George is choking. I don't know if he's choking. It's too early, but I will say this. Why is he settling for all these shots? All of his success has been at the rim. He gave the business to Bridges, and he already put a shoulder into Crowder. Like, take it to the hoop. Be aggressive. When you get inside, dish it to Reggie Jackson or Morris or who's ever in the game and get it to him. But if you're saying he's choking like long term, like you're predicting he'll choke by the at the end of this game, then yeah, I get it. When LA is down, they don't panic. When the Suns are down, it's a whole new story. I do agree with that. They seem to be pretty confident, the Clippers, no matter what they're doing when they're down. He's 0 for 6? Is he really 0 for 6? I thought I saw him already make a couple shots. Didn't he make like an and one underneath already? Now, this is the problem. I don't normally run all of this by myself, so I am having trouble watching the game and engaging. But I enjoy the engaging part more. Like, I like talking to you guys almost more than I like watching the game. So that's fun, because I just like talking basketball. I like talking sports in general. Ronald, he's 0 for 6. Is that for real? Let me get my phone out. Paul George 0 for 6 already. Just gagging it up here in the first quarter, says Ronald Payton. What do we got here? My prediction, 15-14 is out the window. HQ, bringing the jokes tonight. Yes, you're a little off. They hit the over, my friend. And I would have smashed it hard, too, if it was that. Nick Mack says he's 2 for 7. Thank you, Nick. No, he's 2 for 7. Yeah, I thought I saw him make a couple shots. 0 for 6. I was like, he's not playing good. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't see that. Oh, playoff Rondo. Shooting an air ball. I thought Rondo played okay last game, but I was talking to some other people who were just trashing him and trashing Boogie Cousins. Like, Boogie gave him a little bit of energy and some points off the bench, but they were just clowning his defense and what he's got left in the tank. He's so out of shape, too. He has trouble getting back up the floor, like, every time. And those kind of swing passes the Clippers were trying last game to the open three kept getting picked off, and they just kept running the same play with no real adjustment out of it whatsoever. But they have to. You have to be able to find some bench points if Reggie Jackson is going to be in your starting lineup. So, like, maybe tonight it's Batum. Maybe Batum or Kennard or somebody like that can pick up a little bit of the scoring. Yes, thank you, Mac. Because I don't know if I could take on another thing of trying to find people's statistics. I just missed who hit a 3 or hit a 2. My bad. It wasn't Devin Booker, so that makes me happy. Rondo, good penetration, kick. Torrey Craig with the foul on Terance Mann. Terance Mann has played really good all year. 72-64 Clippers. Oh, Nick Mack, I love it. All these kids in here having fun with their with the how low scoring of a game this is going to be, because these teams are just shooting garbage shots. The return of pandemic P. It's tough. It's one thing I always tell, like, my kids or like my nieces and nephews and stuff, like, just don't give yourself a nickname. If you are, give yourself like a nickname that's kind of self-deprecating. Don't call yourself Playoff P. Reggie Jackson didn't name himself Mr. October. because then if he strikes out every at bat during October, there's going to be Mr. Floptober or some, adaptation to the nickname he gave himself. And people have attacked playoff piece Sarich getting dunks in the center. And that's the kind of defense you get when you get Boogie Cousins. You guys remember how good Boogie Cousins was for like a 2-year period? He was phenomenal. And injuries just wiped him out. He's a shell. I remember somebody reached out to me when they're like, oh, yeah, the Lakers released Cousins. And I'm like, they didn't release the Sacramento Kings Cousins. They released, like, my third cousin. Like, nobody. Cam Payne still confidently jacking up step-back threes. Good ball movement. You do have a mismatch underneath with Cousins. He's not being guarded by Sarge. Cam Payne's, what do you guys think of Cam Payne's defense? He's kind of like a less annoying Pat Bev to me. Torrey Craig. Oh, a little too much strength on that one. He's excited to get off a wide open three, and he hit nothing but nothing. Nothing but the other side of the basket. Let's see. My sister played 30 minutes, and the score was 4-2. She lost. Ouch. See, that's the thing is like, when I had kids, I always hoped that they would play sports. But now that I go and watch some of my nieces and nephew play, I'm like, I'm glad that I don't have to spend my afternoon watching like Little League soccer and softball and baseball. Like, it's just terrible. Although, like, my nephew, he's a baseball player, and he's like essentially Mike Trout. He's like a stud. He's like leading the team in home runs and RBI. He's just crushing everybody who gets in front of him. Yeah, someday I will be watching my nephew play professional sports, football or baseball. He's a freak of nature. Devin also ain't doing good. I'm not mad about that, Felke. You see those dimples? I ain't mad about that at all. I got somebody jumping in here with me. It is my friend. Tomorrow we will be live doing Sports Force, where we go back and forth on topics, and I tell Joe how wrong he is about everything. Without any further ado, it is my buddy Joe Skirdo.
Love the intro. What is up?
Not much. I figured I'd get in a little shot before you had any chance to rebuttal it.
That was a very fair introduction. I'll give it to you, Tony.
Just talking a little trash. You watching this game?
I am. I'm a little behind though, unfortunately.
That's okay. I won't do the updates. I will just get excited when Devin Booker misses a shot, because that's how I am.
Yeah, I know. James. You're the alternate hater of Devin Booker is what is the word on the streets via Mac Daddy is what I've heard.
It's not a word on the street. I'm like putting up billboards in LA. Like, I'm just going around and just plastering up overrated in Devin Booker photos next to it. James from Boda. Sports. What's going on, brother? Running these comments. Who do you got in tonight's game?
I like the Clippers tonight. I think it's more so because they have to win this game. And I've been saying that like all playoffs, and it's usually the other team that wins. The team that doesn't need to win usually wins, but the Clippers actually really have to win this game. They got to even this series if there's any shot. So I'm going to give it to the Clippers, but
I picked the Clippers too.
You picked the Clippers too. Yeah. I mean, the Suns have won 8 in a row. Like that's tough to like just to keep that up. So I don't know. I feel like the Clippers, they need this game. So
yeah, 3 straight series where you go down 0-2, like that is,
you can't have that.
Yeah, that's just tough to overcome those circumstances. And Cousins isn't having the effect he had last game. I think he'd be better off just getting the team riled up, getting ejected. Like, let's do it the old-fashioned way and get the early shower and try and get your team going in that direction. Because being on the floor ain't working out, homie.
You know what's crazy though? He was their third highest scorer in game 1, and he had 11 points, and he only played 13 minutes.
Give me a
So
break. Give me a break with that garbage. HQ, I did not ignore your comment. I actually love it. And if Mike does show up, we should heckle him for drafting Calvin Ridley in the second round. Although I praised it during the live stream, we can make fun of him. I have no trouble flip flopping on my comments whatsoever. And then Felke, you're right. Is the low score making it intense or boring? That's what he asked.
I would say more intense, honestly. As yeah, it seems boring, but this is a like this game's gonna change the series no matter who wins. So something happened.
Terance Man Eater. Hall and Oates, everybody. We got any Hall and Oates fans? Goodness, you know what? Somebody made a comment earlier about all the youth on Phoenix. The problem is all the youth is good. Like, I guess it's not a problem if you're a Phoenix Suns fan. It's like a great thing to have. But like Cam Johnson comes off the bench, and he's a legit like future sixth man of the year candidate. Luke Kennard, $64 million, can't buy a bucket. You think you'd have a little extra cash lying around, Joe? But he can't make the transaction. His Venmo account is empty.
Wow, I haven't even seen the Terance Mann 3-pointer yet.
Goodness gracious, you gotta be. This is just. You gotta hit a refresh then. Maybe. Are you watching stream?
Yeah, I'm streaming it. We're gonna have to refresh this baby here.
Playoff Redondo, everybody. Playoff Long Beach Redondo. So I don't like Saric bullying everybody on the Clippers. Like somebody needs to go in there and just like
Marcus Morris.
Yeah, like somebody go down there and give him the business.
All right, I'm at 36-31. That was better than what I had before. But the Clippers have the ball, so that's terrific.
Yeah, you'll be caught up here in no time. But you'll see, and there's a moment coming up here from Saric in a second where it's like he's just under the basket and he's just getting whatever he wants, just moving people out of the way. And I think he's on an undersized guy, but still, like it can't be like that. Saric can't be dominating you.
I just saw that. That was dominant.
Right?
The thing is, though, like the Clippers don't even have like a legit center. I guess. I mean, they got Batum, they got Cousins, and I guess Saric is a power forward, but they don't really have a legit big man. Rather, power forward, center, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Zubac is okay, but he's not really like he's not good enough to guard Ayton. He can give you some like passable minutes. I think the most effective unit that they can put on the floor is when they go small with Batum at the 5, Morris, Jackson, and then you pick your point guard, whether it's going to be Pat Bev or Rondo.
Well, that's the lineup they really had the success with last series, especially the last 2 games without Kawhi, was when they went small, which is kind of. But now with the team like the Suns, it's going to be a lot harder, considering how bad Gobert was in that other series. Now you got to go Eaton.
You know, I'm not even really mad at the lineup either. Like when they have Kawhi and PG and they take turns bringing the ball up, I just think that the offense is a little more effective when they have a functional point guard. That's why, like my brother-in-law all season was like, they need Lonzo Ball. They need a point guard who can bring it up, who can push the ball so that those two can sort of get to their spots, get where they want to go. We get another comment coming in here.
Yeah, I think that's why they go bring a guy in like Rondo, but obviously Rondo he's still solid, but he's nothing like he used to be.
No, he's definitely not. And he had a couple big threes last game, and he'll do that. He did that for the Lakers. Like I always say to people, like he was a nice piece on the Lakers team last year.
Yeah, it seems like every year now you always find him on a contending team. I feel like he's always on a contending team. Marcus Morris and PJ Tucker, those guys are always on different teams, but their teams are always in the playoffs. It's just like you find a lot of those type of players in the NBA that like attract winning teams, or winning teams just trade for them mid-season.
Um, if the Suns don't win game 2, they'll probably lose game 2. Yeah, well,
Accurate.
Rondo started the year on the Atlanta Hawks. He was like a nice piece for them, and I think he was supposed to be that veteran that took them in that direction. But as soon as they went from Lloyd Pierce to Nate McMillan, they really upped the defense. They stopped jacking up crazy threes, or as many, and were able to try and play to all their strengths. And now you gotta be kidding me. I cannot have Saric having the game of his life. Fell 2 for 6, Devin Booker. Not mad at that. There it is. We gotta see.
This must be a tough game for you to watch then, because you want to keep loyal to your Devin Booker hate, but your Clippers hate's probably stronger.
Okay, this is what I was trying to explain to people earlier. I'm strictly rooting for agony, Joe. Like, I don't care who wins. I just want the team that loses to do it in the most agonizing fashion possible. Like on a last second 3 where it just like it's been ripped away from them, because then I'll be able to cheer for the Milwaukee Bucks, or let's say the Atlanta Hawks, which we could talk about that tomorrow night. Or on tomorrow, Sports Force at
Oh yeah.
2:15 Pacific, 5:15 Eastern. Clippers had 40 points in the second quarter. What records did the Suns? Wait, why can't I read this? Clippers had 40. Huh. I don't know. I'm struggling to make sense of that one. Joe looks like he lives in North Carolina.
Randy.
Randy Pepperton, ladies and gentlemen.
There he is.
The biggest troll of the Warzone Sports Network. Thanks, Pepperton.
I should have known not to wear a tank with Randy Pepperton scheming around the comment section, because I knew he was going to give it to me. Just like he always does.
Is the reason why they call him wife beaters. Like Pepperton's got to be the worst person on the planet. Anyway, let's get back to basketball. Enough about Jerry Springer's show with Pepperton. Cam Payne continuing his wonderful run.
Yeah,
I'm really interested to see what happens with Chris Paul this offseason. Because if he's too aggressive and goes after the cash, what happens, Joe? Like, do you just say, hey, Cam Payne's actually nice, and we can pick up a veteran point guard, and we can let Devin Booker run the point guard? You know, like, I've been told that Devin Booker is one of the best facilitators in basketball. It doesn't matter if he averages 4.8 assists a game. He's one of the best passers in basketball.
Love the sarcastic hate right there. But no, I mean, if Chris Paul's asking for big money, I'm not giving it to him. Like you said, I think there's a lot of point guards, veteran point guards that you can find. A guy like we were just talking about, Rajon Rondo. He's always on a different Pepperton. He's always on a different team. So yeah, put faith in your young guys. Give Cam Payne a promotion. This is a young team, and I think CP3 has complemented it really well this year, but next year they're going to be even more experienced. So I don't think he's going to be asking for anything crazy, though. I feel like CP3 is happy where he's at, especially like where he's at in his career too.
Yeah, I think this much. I think if he wins a title, I think he gets a little greedier. I think CP3 starts saying like, hey, I want the third year on the contract. I want this crazy, $75 million contract or whatever, right? Because he has the championship, and now maybe he goes and plays for a team on the cusp of not winning it, but like a decent team, and gets more money and thanks Phoenix for everything they did. But Phoenix would really kind of be putting themselves in a bad spot to sign a player that old to that kind of money, because at some point they're going to be needing to pay some of these younger players to keep them around. There it is.
Right.
Love this. I love good ball movement. There's something about a few skip passes and then a made shot. I just love to see it.
I literally just saw Campaign hit that 3. We're struggling here.
Oh, I don't know what.
Oh no,
Nice.
it's 46-40. I'm at 46-40 right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit ahead. That's why I'm not giving out scores to you, but I'm trying to find the nice balance between streaming with people who are streaming the game and people who are watching it on cable like me.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I got to figure it out by football season, because people will be losing their minds on like 3rd and 4th down when I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
I remember I went live on Instagram for the Jets 4th round pick, and that's when they took Michael Carter, the running back. And I'm like live streaming it when they're drafting, and this guy just pops in and goes, "Let's go! They drafted Michael Carter." I was like, "Dude, come on!" I was so pissed. I literally ended the live. I couldn't even like get the reaction because I loved the pick. I was, "Thanks, dude." I literally said, "Thanks for ruining it for me," and then left the stream.
You should have disabled comments or something and been like, "Hey, normally I could let people comment, but I want to have a nice big celebratory moment here." This
Right.
guy just, takes a dump on your lawn.
Literally. Flat out, dude. I was so mad.
I love that kind of stuff. Oh man. More comments. Felke said finally the game is starting to speed up. It is, and I think it's having to do with a little bit of ball movement. And the Clippers need to seize the opportunity of the Suns playing bad basketball right now, because the Suns they've played better than this without Chris Paul, and I don't think that they'll play this bad for an entire 4th quarter. So Donovan Mitchell for CP3 would be interesting. Stop it. Stop that nonsense. There is no way you're giving up young talent like Donovan Mitchell for CP3. There is no way.
That wouldn't even make sense for the Jazz either. They got Mike Conley at the point. I mean, and Donovan Mitchell, yeah, he's a rising star. He's a star. He's not even rising anymore. He's an absolute star.
This is an interesting question. Would you rather have someone who shoots 50% from everywhere on the court, or someone who shoots 100% in the paint and 5% everywhere else? I think I'm taking the 100%er from the paint, because if I can even get him, 15 shots in the paint, that's 30 points a night guaranteed. But the guy who's outside, the 50%er, you got to get him what? If he makes 50% of his threes, let's say he gets up 15 threes, 7.5. So he's around 20, 24 points a game. Just doing some quick math off the top of my head. I will admit to everybody here that I barely graduated high school. So I don't know if that math was correct or not. But
I mean, I don't know. Probably like 10 years ago, I would rather do the 100% in the paint. But just with where the game is at now, I'd probably rather be solid everywhere. But that is a good question, because I think it really depends for me how the game is being played now. A lot less aggressive the way I used to.
Yeah, well, I was taking it very literal based on those. Like if each guy's getting 15 shots, I'm getting 13 points.
Okay.
I'm getting 30 points exactly. But the guy who shoots 50 from outside, if he's making half of those, that's 7.5. That's roughly, 3 times 21 is, or 3 times 7 is 21. At a half a percentage of that, he's getting what, 22.5, 23 points a game. I'm just saying, like, statistically, you want the guy inside. It obviously wouldn't work like that. Let's go this route with it. Would you rather have Dame Lillard or Zion, right? Like two guys that are kind of averaging a similar amount of points, but this one, and to me, like, I want the guy who can just do more. To me, the scoring is one thing. You get a lot of guys that can score. How many guys can score and have different elements of their game? But you got to be able to score. That's number one. And we're seeing that with Ben Simmons. Like, Ben Simmons is going to be traded.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like more so just not confident. He's afraid. Yeah, Ben. I mean the Lillard in the Zion thing. I think it really like you saying one season, one game. Like, am I for a dynasty or?
Yeah, the dynasty is boo. The dynasty is just this. Anytime you guys hear me say boo or weak or whatever, just assume Devin Booker just did something good. Dynasty's always weird because you're trying to project what players will be, and what we don't know them. We don't know their work ethic. We don't know how they're spending their time. You always hear people giving Giannis a hard time. They're like, he's down in the Bahamas partying with his brothers all off season. He's out working on his shot. It's like, where do you get this information? Like, somebody took one photo of him, like, enjoying his off season, which he's entitled to. And so that means he's not working on anything. One picture means he was gone for 4 months, shaking his groove thing and drinking Mai Tais in the Caribbean. Like, that doesn't make people just leap to these crazy conclusions. It's like, where do you get this?
It's only because it's a superstar like Giannis. I mean, if it was PJ Tucker, nobody would care what he was doing.
PJ.
No hate at PJ, but it's just in general, Giannis is a 2-time MVP. Everyone's gonna overreact, but it looks like he's doing just fine now, chilling in the Eastern Conference Finals here.
Yeah, he is, and he needs to have a big. He needs him. Somebody asked me this today. Who are the two players I think need the wins the most here? And I think it's Giannis and Chris Paul. Like, people have already made their mind up on who Paul George is, and people are starting to make their mind up on Giannis. I like this comment from Fell here about Steph scoring and playmaking, because that is really what I'm talking about. Like, his ability to pass the ball, I don't think it's like superior, but I think it's very good. And his ability to score is superior to like 99.9% of people who ever dribbled a basketball. Mike on the mic here. More trade value, Ben Simmons or Kyle Kuzma? Wow. This is actually closer than
it should be.
People would think. But here's the reason why I think it's closer. Kuzma has shown how great of a scorer he can be when he's not on a LeBron team. You're like, and even if you go back and look at the games that LeBron is out, Kuzma can fill it up in a hurry.
Oh yeah, wow. For sure. I mean, I think Kuzma does have more value because just look at the contracts, and at least Kuzma can score the basketball. And like you said, he had flashes of really good when LeBron was injured. He obviously hasn't panned out the player that all Lakers fans thought he was going to be coming out of college, but where you're looking at their point of their careers, at least Kuzma can score the basketball. He's inconsistent, but Ben Simmons is in a dark place, and that $177 million contract is going to scare away a lot of teams. Like, the Sixers will have to sacrifice a really good pick if they are full in on moving him, which I think they should be. So I would say Kuzma has the more value just because of the financial standpoint, and he can actually shoot the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's really the extra part. I like that you put that caveat in there, is that the contract is more attractive and there's upside offensively, right? Kuzma will never be that kind of defender. Kuzma also has not had the opportunity to fully develop. You can't develop when you play next to LeBron James. It's just not where he's at in his career. Kuzma, if you watch games when LeBron's on the floor, he's always looking back to see if he's in the right place. He's like looking for confirmation, like, "Hey, Dad, am I doing good? Did you see that?" Like it's nonstop with Kuzma in that the whole game. It drives me insane. And then LeBron goes away, and it's like he just allows his instinct and effort to take over, and he'll have like 10 rebounds and 4 blocks and a couple steals, 18 points, and you look at the box score and you're like, "Damn, this kid can ball." Um, I heard a trade where somebody was like Jeremy Grant for Kuzma, and I was like, the only reason I kind of like that is because Jeremy Grant, he already knows who he is, he knows what he can do, and he knows he can score. And the trades that I've heard that I like for Ben Simmons is Brogdon in Indiana and him flipping. I think T.J. Warren was involved in that trade. That I don't know. I'd have to look at
Wow.
it again. But it was like those two for Ben Simmons. And it was kind of like more of a salary match than anything else. But I think that would be a good trade for both sides, actually.
Oh, yeah. I think that's ideal for the 76ers. I would accept that in a heartbeat. I mean, I know I think Brogdon has a pretty big contract. But yeah, those are two scorers. And that's why the 76, like that's exactly what the 76ers need. They don't really have a legitimate scorer. Yeah, they have Embiid, but other than that, they don't have that guy who can you could rely on shooting threes and who can maybe score 30 to 40 points. Because we all know Ben Simmons isn't that guy.
For the Sixers?
Yeah, like the fact like that would be ideal for the Sixers because they don't really have anybody who can score really. Like
See,
other than
I
Embiid.
disagree a little bit. I think Tobias Harris would become a better and more consistent scorer next to somebody like Brogdon as opposed to a guy like Simmons.
For sure.
I like Seth Curry's ability to get hot there. And the guy that I think would be a great backup point guard was the guy they should have started in the fourth quarter was the rookie Tyrese Maxey. So, like, that's the adjustment Doc was unwilling to make. If you have a point guard who goes – there was a HQ guest put up a funny comment earlier, and he said Ben Simmons shot 100% in the fourth quarter during the last playoff series for the Sixers. And it's like, yeah, but I want the guy who shoots 50% in this case. But at least he's putting some shots up.
Well, he took 3 shots. He took 3 field goals in the fourth quarter. Yeah, but
they were in like games 1 and 2. Like the final 4 games of the series, he didn't put 1 shot up, and then he passed literally a dunk under the hoop because he was afraid of Gallinari.
Because he didn't want to get fouled. He knew he was going to miss both of them.
And if he even would have looked like he was going up, Gallinari would have ran through him like a tackling dummy. He would have just lowered his shoulder and plowed through his back. You see the comment on the screen here. Hot take, but I would take Clay over any other NBA player ever in the world when they are hot.
Like ever in like the history of the NBA or like modern day NBA?
I think he's saying ever.
Yeah, no shot. That's why it's a hot take, but I could probably name 20 players I'd rather hot than Clay Thompson when they're hot.
It would be a hard pass for me too, but I get what he's saying. I've always argued that Klay Thompson would have been like a 30-point scorer on any other team. Like if he spent so much energy on defense for so many years, and people would just be like, they would just, they're just not giving it any credit. I'm like, do you know how much energy it takes to put in that kind of defense, to put in that kind of effort, guarding the team's best player, 82 games and then into the playoffs? Like he just has to be wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, kind of takes away from all the other guys he had too, all the other scorers he also played with. But no, yeah, Clay easily could have been like a 28-point guy a night if A, he didn't have to be asked for so much on defense, and B, he didn't have Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Draymond Green and just an all-star team around him.
Definitely. He almost would have been like a better shooting Bradley Beal. Like Bradley Beal got a lot of credit for his defense and his three ball ability. And Bradley Beal's an all-star and kind of like a cusp all NBA player some years. And it's like, Clay could have easily been that guy. Mike on the mic here. What do we got? Should the Nets make any moves or just stay put and get healthy? Mike on the mic. Yes, they definitely have to make some moves. I saw. Oh, there was a chat I was involved with earlier today, and somebody said get Carmelo, and I was like, okay, yes, because if you can get Carmelo Anthony to come off the bench, he can be a productive scorer in small spurts, and I also think he would go there for like a veteran minimum. They need to continue to add veterans who can still produce on one end of the floor somewhere, who want to play for nothing. That's what they have. They got to get young guys and veterans who can just sort of know their role, go full on stone cold. Is that the guy who says it? Know your role and shut your mouth. Who? I forget. Sorry, I'm not a big wrestling fan.
I don't think that's Stone Cold. I'm not sure.
I thought it was
Maybe
Stone
it was.
Cold or The Rock or somebody. I'm not cool, guys. I'm not that cool.
Yeah, I think the Nets got to make moves too because, I mean, if you get healthy, that's not guaranteed. Their depth is awful, and we saw that living proof. Yeah, they perform well in the regular season, but that's a whole different animal when you're going in the playoffs. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think a veteran at some point. Whether it's Melo would be interesting. I don't know how much money they have though. Like I think a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. would be a very nice add, but it's probably a little too rich for them to afford it, considering they're carrying 3 All-Stars on their team.
Yeah, I don't think they can bring in any players like that. I'm not a salary cap person. I don't know, but they have to be right at the max. There was a question I believe that we skipped over that I want to talk about. Here it is. Let me go back up to this. What's better, the hard cap salary cap from the NFL or the no salary cap from MLB? I'm personally a fan of a cap in place, right? But I think that, like, for me, what I would like to see in the NFL is the separation, is to have a QB cap and a rest of the team cap, because quarterbacks, they should be entitled to be able to get as much money as they're worth and it not hurt other players on the team. Because a lot of times I think we see teams that could be together for good runs, but they lose good defensive players because they have too much money wrapped up in their quarterbacks. So I wouldn't mind seeing hard caps, but separating what you can pay your QB and then the rest of the team sort of a cap space. But where are you at on the salary cap thing here?
Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. I mean, I just think it goes well with the sports because you look at the MLB, they only carry 25 to 26 players on their roster, not to mention they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players in their farm system. So with the NFL, there's 53 players you got to pay. So I feel like it's almost better that you have a hard cap. That way you kind of get away from stacking teams. But I mean, I would prefer a cap, long story short. But I think it makes sense for baseball, but because you look at it, a lot of these teams, that's why you have a farm system. It's not like you're totally screwed. Like the Rays, the A's, they don't spend any money, but they're always in the playoffs because they do it differently. They go through the farm system. The NFL doesn't have that. So I think it goes well with the respective sports, but if I had to choose, I probably would go salary cap, considering over the years, we've seen the Yankees absolutely dominate and take advantage of it. But now it doesn't seem like it takes that much of an effect. So, but that's a good question.
Yeah. I'm always down to entertain that. Mike jumped in here and said that's The Rock.
It's The Rock. Bottom line, of course.
Thank you. He added another wrestling comment. I don't want to be part of a wrestling conversation, so we're moving on. Thanks for playing, Mike. Yeah, like Dak makes a third of their cap. Yeah, I just don't. I want to see what the teams could be and then separate. If we're already going to make other rules in the NFL for quarterbacks, you can't touch their face mask. You can't breathe with halitosis in the direction of Tom Brady. Then I want them to have a separate cap and build the team around them in that way.
I mean, I don't know, though. I think it's so hard in the NFL to find a legitimate quarterback that a team who's willing to pay a quarterback that much should be honored, because there's so many teams that have bad quarterbacks or mediocre quarterbacks. Like, yeah, Dak's making a third of their cap, but at least they feel like they're in the position that they have a franchise quarterback. Because I think that gives a lot of those teams an advantage if you do take away the cap, because imagine if Patrick Mahomes had his own cap. Look at the Chiefs now. We could imagine if they had more money, they probably would have went out and signed, who knows, Corey Davis or Kenny Golladay or somebody else who got a lot of money in free agency. But
we're in a basketball stream, so let's take it to this. Can you imagine if there was no salary cap in the NBA? Like the team that LeBron would be recruiting to come and play in a city like LA, where they could just be like, we'll pay luxury penalties. We'll do whatever you want. Like LeBron would be playing with his Space Jam squad. It would be ridiculous. Like Anthony Davis would go down and then they would be bringing in Joel Embiid. Like it would be ridiculous, the team that he would assemble if there was no salary cap. So I think it does prevent and does help certain sports to not have it, right? And in in a sport with baseball where there's so many moving parts to the game, it just wouldn't be fair in basketball to me, where it's like one individual can just be so dominant.
Yeah, because like baseball and football are way more team orientated, whether we want to admit it or not. Yeah, no salary cap in basketball is ridiculous, because we already complained about these super teams, and basketball is really the only sport that I can consider that you can form a super team, at least easily, not over time, because we've seen the Nets become a super team in a snap of a finger. Same thing with the Lakers, maybe like a year or two. So yeah, no salary cap. It really wouldn't be fun, considering we've seen a lot of super teams, at least since the Celtics started things up in 2008.
Yeah, of players sort of really migrating to the same situation. And just like Felke had a funny comment a while back there about the only thing the Nets needed to do was to get James Harden into shape. They don't need to get anything except, a personal trainer, lap band surgery for Mr. James Harden. Would I say that Clay is the best catch and shooter in the league? I was trying to think on the fly while reading that. It was a poor job of doing both of them at the same time. I'm off the top of my head. I can't think of somebody else that I would put ahead of him. Maybe
Steph Curry.
I was just gonna say maybe one of the Currys. I call Seth Curry my favorite Curry, so maybe I might go Seth Curry on that. But I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, one of them at least. I think Steph Curry would be the best catch and shooter in the league. Consider he's the best shooter in the league, but Clay's definitely up there.
Yeah, I think.
But it's also hard because we haven't seen Clay play in a year and a half. So it's so hard to even think about comparing him right now, because he hasn't played in what seems like forever.
Here's the other thing that's funny is 2 weeks ago, you may have gotten me to say Joe Harris. But after that last series against the Bucks, it's
I know.
The first series, the guy shoots 50-something%. And then in this last series, he can't be found. I can't remember him making a shot. And so it's it's that quick that literally 2 weeks ago, I probably would have been Joe Harris is up there. But now I can't say that into a live mic. Well, there's people watching. I can't. They're like, bro, did you watch the last series? Yeah, I did. But I still am going to pound the table for Joe Harris. Not this guy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it blatantly with Joe Harris when he's covered and a team plays good perimeter defense. He doesn't know what to do. He was just like chucking up shots, just absolutely smothered. So yeah, he was awful in that series. Absolutely terrible. No.
I gotta ask you a question. Am I having any connection issues? It's saying I'm having like low Wi-Fi connection.
No, you're good on my end.
All right, just making sure. Game just restarted back up. Yes, and it starts off the way I like it. That'd be Booker missing a bunny. A couple more questions or thoughts here. No one wants to join LeBron. They all want to beat him. Yeah, I think so. I think some of them. I think Kawhi. I think KD. I think there was that. And then there is. Do you have Chamberlain as a top 5 all-time player? I do not.
I
Joe?
don't either.
Yeah, I don't. I don't even know where I would. I don't even know where I'd rank him. Like I got into a comment the other day where somebody didn't even have Tim Duncan in their top 10, and I was just like, I can't talk to you anymore. I have to.
Wow, not in this top 10, man.
I don't even know. I don't know where to start. I feel like he didn't watch basketball for a 20-year period.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's the type of people that think like Tim Duncan style play is boring because he doesn't throw up 53s.
Yeah.
And drive to the hoop and flop and go into the bleachers.
Well, the person was my age too. That's why I was confused. I was like, it wasn't, like it was somebody who was approaching 40. I was like, hey,
what?
You realize we're having a conversation and we both watched this man dominate people.
Right. For
like
years.
Like the 2003 run. Like just go back and look at what he did. It's historic. I can't believe I'm cheering for the Clippers right now.
I know. I can't believe that either, honestly.
I'm not even cheering for the Clippers as much as I'm just cheering for like, oh, what the get up. This is the other thing too. I want to start seeing fines. If you get up and your eyeball's still intact, but you went to the ground like this, if you just went to the ground for like 30 seconds acting like that, and you get up and there's not even a scratch on your face, I want $25,000 out of your pocket. We're giving it to the local Boys and Girls Club or something. Like, get the hell out of here.
LeBron would owe a lot of money.
He's got enough. He's got
not
enough.
That he needs it, right? Yeah, but he could build his own Boys and Girls Club with that amount of fines he'd be getting.
We'll build an I Promise 2 school. He'll be building one every week. The amount of flops he takes. I'm so tired of it. They're always looking for the flagrant foul. If somebody even comes near him, they're just like, go to a heap. It's like, bro, he didn't even come near your head, and you're grabbing your neck and head area. My neck and my back. Oh, my neck and my back.
That's just today's NBA for you. It's painful sometimes.
I know. Oh, Zubats has got to get off the floor.
Yeah, Zubac hasn't really done anything this postseason, I feel. I mean, it's kind of what we said earlier. Like the Clippers are way better when they play small. Because I mean, Zubac barely played game 1. I think he only had like 15 minutes or something. Could be wrong, but it wasn't a lot.
Well, he's not effective, and I get that. Like, Ty Lue seems to be smart at the beginning of these series, even though they were down to the Mavericks, and down to the Jazz, whatever else. He does seem to be experimenting with lineups, seeing what works the best, and knowing when to go to them and when not to go to them. Like making sure that he's one of those guys that's like, I'm trying this and a little bit of that. Like he's trying to cook a new dish every time he's putting out a new lineup and put things in there. Oh, Fel K, if I had a giveaway, you just won it, my friend. You just won it. You just stole my heart right now. right there.
Well, yeah, you hear what Stephen A. Smith said about Devin
No.
Booker? You didn't?
Oh, was this the Kobe thing?
Yeah, he said he's the next
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
I can't with that. I don't even. I talked about that on another show I did today on somebody's podcast, and they said like he said something. I go, can Devin Booker win an MVP? Can he win an NBA Finals before I say that he's as good as Kobe Bryant? Like,
Right. It's crazy. I think he's more saying his game is like Kobe's, but yeah, at the same time, I mean, come on. Like don't compare anyone to Kobe Bryant until their trophy case is at least half full.
and here's the thing: is that I've never said that Devin Booker isn't great, won't be great, whatever he is. I just don't love the hyperbolic comments of people who want to crown him all of these things after his first run in the playoffs. It's been very impressive, but let's see how it finishes. Let's see how it like the sustainability. Can he do this for multiple years in a row? Can he carry and lead teams consistently without Chris Paul or other veterans on the squad? I'm not saying he can't. All I'm saying is if you're telling me he's Kobe Bryant right now, then you're telling me he's a top 3 player in the NBA currently. And I don't
Right.
buy that.
No, he's not. I mean, he's definitely one of the ones. It seems like the NBA is we always want to compare like everybody else and then the 25 and under club. I think he's definitely up there with 25 and under, but yeah, top 3 in the league. There's no shot. And he's only 24, so maybe in a few years. But I don't like to get ahead of myself and compare him to literally one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the thing is I tend to not compare guys out of era very often because there's so much left of their career. You know, like, is there a chance he could be better and do better things than Kobe Bryant? Sure, there's a small chance he could win 6 or 7 titles in a row, or not in a row, but like in his career, win a bunch of MVPs, be the NBA Finals MVP multiple 3-4 times, and put himself in that. Yes, there's a possibility of that. But why don't we? I like to compare people as they're playing together at the same time. I like to compare LeBron and KD and Harden and whatever. I don't want to compare LeBron to Michael or what it like we can do that when LeBron's done, but while he's still playing, he's still got time left to do other things. And you just don't have a chance to like distance yourself from all of it and make an irrational judgment because the next night the player can do something crazy like what happened with Devin Booker in game 1, getting a 40-point triple-double, and then all of a sudden my phone's blowing up with with all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, where is this coming from? Okay.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
I mean, yeah, we realistically should be comparing him to the players that are at his stage of his career, like Tatum, like Mitchell, like Trae Young. I mean,
Luka,
I wasn't going to say Luka because I think he's just head over heels over everyone. I think Luka is a top 3, top 5 player in the league easily. But yeah, those guys, Zion, I mean, just the under 25 club. Those are the guys you compare him to, not a certified Hall of Famer who's arguably a top 5 player of all time.
I drive around LA, and yes, it part of it is because he tragically passed away. There's buildings and walls and everything dedicated to the man in Los Angeles. Like he's an icon. He's a legend. Like he put together a body of work that will outlive his children. You know, like Devin Booker made the playoffs for the first time this year. So,
yeah.
Excuse me if I'm not ready to say that he's as good as Kobe Bryant was.
Exactly. And I mean, I'd take Tatum and Mitchell. I'd take both of them over Booker. So
that's the camp that I'm in, but I was outvoted the other night, and I got kind of bitter about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I don't know. Booker's definitely proven me wrong too, but
Yeah,
that's
no, I hear you, and that's the fun thing about sports is we get to debate this, and then
that was tough.
okay, we got some comments popping up in here. I've been bad. I've been bad at running the comments. Let me get back to this. I've been trying to watch the game. HQ guest. The Pelicans don't even have one NBA Finals win. Yeah, not a super old franchise though. Where did the Pelicans come from? New Orleans. They were the Hornets.
Yep. I
Right?
mean, they were the Hornets, and then the Bobcats became the Hornets.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Pelicans are a pretty new.
Yeah, but they have the same franchise as like the Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson. Is that the franchise they came from, or no? Am I mistaking that?
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, so the New Orleans Pelicans became the New Orleans Hornets became the New Orleans Pelicans, and then the Charlotte Bobcats became the Charlotte Hornets.
This is my nightmare right here. Simmons to Lakers rumors. Jim Nation 3.0. You've just made me shudder on my inside. Because the last thing they need is more trouble at the free throw line and nobody who can shoot the three. Aha! No, please no. Fel K said he was the next Kobe Bryant, not right now. I get it. I get what you're saying. But even Kobe Bryant was doing things that we haven't seen. And yes, he was playing next to Shaquille O'Neal, and that probably helped it. But since I already know what the totality is, and you're just making a vague statement of saying he's the next of this version, I don't see that. So, like, I can't make that jump in my head and just, oh, he's the next? Sure, he's the next. He could be that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and I'm pretty sure when Kobe was Booker's age, he was nearly averaging 30 points a night. Just absolutely just a man amongst boys over there. But yeah, even to say the next, like, not that he says he's Kobe Bryant right now. I think it's worse that he's saying he's the next Kobe Bryant. I mean, how are you going to say that right now? It's a little too early. The talent in his game, yeah, reflects of how Kobe played. He could shoot from anywhere, whether it's inside, mid range, 3-point, and that's why Kobe was so good. But I just can't get behind that yet.
Yeah, and Kobe was also like there was just a little more athleticism that I saw, the dunks, the wow, the end of games, the way that Kobe would take it over even when he was like 21, 22 years old, like the things that Kobe Bryant would do cuz I wasn't a Lakers fan when I was younger. I wasn't a young Kobe Bryant fan. I grew up in Michigan and was like still cheering for the Pistons at this point, 15 almost 20 years ago now, and it's like I wasn't, but I still understood what I was watching was like insane.
Right. He made me love the game, honestly, and I'm from Boston, so that just shows the impact that he had. When I was younger, I still got stuff even from North Carolina. I still got Kobe stuff that I've had for years because the way he played the game. Like he essentially had a Michael Jordan impact on the game. Literally, though. And Michael Jordan said the same thing. Like when he left, it was Kobe's league. Like Kobe had that impact from the younger generation, the older generation. And that's what you look at too, the impact. Like Devin Booker, I mean, I can't see him having nearly as much impact as Kobe. I mean, when little kids are shooting at trash cans, yelling Devin, and then maybe we can get into this. But he's just an icon, man. I mean, like I said, like he's my favorite player of all time, and I'm a freaking Celtics fan, and I worshipped him when I was younger. He's the reason why I love the game. So if he has that impact, okay, but I think we have to look into that too. And by the way, he just got his first triple double. This is his first playoff appearance. It's just a stretch. It's just a stretch.
It is. He's fantastic. This
Fantastic.
comment on the screen, I wouldn't be mad if I never saw another Warriors Cavs final. I feel pretty rest assured we're not going to see that final.
Yeah.
At least like I'm probably gonna have grandkids when I see that final. And
Yeah,
hopefully that's
I was gonna say at least like in another 30 years, I could be pretty confident in that.
agree. These mainstream analysts never let these kids live. They always want to compare them to
I
greats.
agree.
Yes, they do. Stephen A. is always doing that, and it drives me nuts. And then if you go the other way and it's Skip just shoots down everybody because they're not Michael. So yeah, whenever you're listening to these guys, there's no nuance really in their conversation. It circles back to the same garbage every time. Kevin,
Well, they do it for the reaction that we're giving to you, right? To everyone, though. That's the thing. Like they do it for other people's reactions because Stephen A. knows everyone's gonna lose his mind that he just compared Devin Booker to Kobe Bryant.
this game is getting a little ugly. Clippers are taking some threes that aren't going in. They're trying to get Zubats involved in the offense. Like, what is that? Get him off the floor, getting scored on, and turning the ball over. What the hell is he doing on the floor? Kevin, you haven't missed a whole lot, my friend. To start, you got a pretty much a good rundown here from Felke. He filled you in. And Kobe don't ruin a huge lead, just get 70 points. Another miss.
This is the they should just put the I am like 2 points behind, but they should just give Paul George the ball and let him take over. That's their only hope here.
Well, this is the bad news for the Clippers is that there's no CP3 and Devin Booker is not having a good game. You shouldn't be trailing by 9 right now. Move the ball, make the shots. Thank you.
As soon as I said I am behind, as soon as I said give Paul George the ball, he turned over the ball.
Yes.
Gosh.
Son of a. End of the third, the Clipper. Wait, end of the third.
We just got breaking news from NBA Central. Alex Caruso has been arrested in Texas for possession of marijuana. Our boy, Alex Caruso.
The Caruso. Oh, man. I hope I get an exclusive interview on the War Zone.
Wow, that's some pretty crazy stuff there.
Dime bag Alex. I wonder what he got caught with.
Dime bag. I know, right? It must be super illegal. It's usually I think it's super illegal in most places down south. So,
yeah. This
I'm still
is
behind
going to
here.
happen exactly how the Bucks and Nets happen. Okay, I'm in for that. Phil, I really hope you're right. But I don't imagine that Devin Booker's going to go quietly. Cam Payne, 23 points, 9 of 16, 2 of 5 from 3 and 4 assists. The guy's just continuing to make himself more valuable and an even better story. Can you imagine the piece that they'll do on him during the NBA Finals? What was it like, Cam, when you were in China? And it's like, what do you think it was like? I was playing professional basketball in China when I was like a first-round pick by the Thunder 2 years earlier.
Right.
You think he's gonna say like, yeah, I loved it. DeAndre,
what a resurgence by him.
There is absolutely no answer for stopping the lobs to Ayton. And Zubats is not the answer. And I think Ty Lue is going to go small. I'm hoping Zubats is coming off the floor. Come on, Jackson.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Zubac tonight.
Come on. See, the only way that I can have my full devastation is if the game's close. So I need it to be close. You see where I'm going with this, Joe? Like,
no, I see it. I see it. It doesn't look good right now, though. I don't know what's going on here.
Ayton is feeling himself right now.
Ayton is an absolute beast. I haven't
Wait,
even.
you're about 30 seconds behind. There's a nice play coming up in a second where it's like, okay, if you can make this,
Oh my god! Yeah, the
max money for
alley-oop.
you. No,
Oh.
even better than that. In about 30 seconds, it's like, bro, if you can do that, I'll put you right on that sort of that next tier behind the centers. Like, if you're saying big men, what they can do, and you got Joker, Embiid, and AD right below that. If Ayton could make jumpers consistently, be able to score a little bit away from the basket, doesn't need to make threes, but just add a little versatility to his scoring. Brick. That's a foul. Oh shit.
Oh yeah,
George.
that was a nice shot.
Right? Oh my gosh. Oh, floppy flopperson over here. Oh, I take it back. Remember how I said when they go to the floor and there needs to be blood? Devin Booker just got ripped.
Humbled.
He just got ripped by Beverly across the bridge of the nose. And it looks like a prize fight.
Is he bleeding?
Oh, shit. He headbutt him. Oh, damn, Gina. Damn! It was so quick in real time, you couldn't even see it. It just looked like the shoulders touched and he flopped to the ground. But when they slow it down, he just goes boom right across.
I'm about to see it right now here.
The bridge of Booker's nose. Oh, he's cut. Like, that's a Stitches cut. And Pat Bev looks like his forehead got cut open too.
Oh yeah, wow. Oh, yeah. Floppy Flopperson, and then you just see all the blood on his face.
Yeah.
Oh dang. Yeah, no, Beverly's grabbing his forehead. I want to see that replay. Dang.
Yes, Fell, you're right. Reggie's been showing up the whole playoff series, though. Like, Reggie Jackson was the X factor against Dallas, and he had good games, some really good games against the Jazz, and now he's continuing to make big shots here. And HQ with this updated guess, I'm guessing 98-90 Suns.
Oh.
Okay, can respect it.
Yo, I think he just broke his nose.
Well, I think he's going to have to go get some stitches and get back out here for the fourth quarter.
Oh, man.
Because that's the kind of, when you get split like that, that's the kind of cut that you at least got to pour some glue in that. You know, those are the kind of the fighter cuts that you get. Like, that's a...
Beverly's head's bleeding too, I'm pretty sure, unless that's all Booker's blood.
Yeah, but I mean, who would you rather lose? Devin Booker or Pat? But like, you know, like. If
I mean, not compare. I mean, you lose Beverly, it's like whatever.
Yeah, you get Rondo in the game, and you get maybe a little more offense for a little less defense. But you lose Devin Booker, it's like you are losing 40-point triple-double. But yeah, it does look like Pat Bev is heading back to go get his head stitched up too.
Well, he had like a late reaction though. Once Booker went down, he's like pointing at Booker like, hey, he's flopping. And then he realized he's bleeding, and I think I am too.
Well, yeah, at first when he put Pat Bev, which, by the way, Pev, if you're looking for a place to get rid of that game-worn jersey, we'll take it over here at the Warzone Sports Network. Cam Johnson. Pat, that's like, I'm surprised things like that don't happen more with Patrick Beverley, because the way he plays, and he's so aggressive.
Yeah, he's super physical.
But he's so erratic and wild too. He's always diving and flailing. And all right, the offense is starting to look a little more stagnant on Phoenix. On the Suns, on the sunny side of the ball, starting to look a little bit more like, where do we go?
Yeah, I mean, even though Booker wasn't playing necessarily well, like that could be a huge turning point to this game. I mean, you still lose Booker. Now you don't have Booker or CP3 on the court.
This is insane. Cam Johnson is stepping in and just being like, oh, I know what I have to do. I'm good at basketball. I can make shots. I can be aggressive. Like, this is what I like, that somehow Monty Williams, it doesn't matter who they put out there. They just believe and they're aggressive. The Suns. It's just how they play. Oh,
Yeah, they're a super aggressive team for sure. I think that's why they've been so good. I mean, them and the Hawks, they play with similar styles, in my opinion. They don't really lose a beat no matter what team's out there, whether it's their starters or their backups. Just up and down. Oh,
yeah. And I mean, really, like, that is, I think, one of the things with basketball is just maintaining superior confidence, because it's nonstop. You don't get chances to like regroup. It's just constant. Like, at least with football, there's like a down. You get to come off the field. You drop a pass. You can sort of get right. You can sit on the bench for a second. But with basketball, you might play a 9-minute stint where you airball a free throw like Giannis did the other night. Like, you got to come back from that pretty quick, because we got basketball games going on. Yeah, we got shit happening. What just happened here?
still behind here pretty badly.
Jay Crowder needs to step up. Yeah, I think so. I think one of those veterans, even if it's not with the scoring, it's got to be with the talking and the communicating and keeping the morale high, keeping the message going. Like, hey, we're beating these guys right now without CP3 and Devin Booker's in the back, getting his nose done. Do you have a custom chat system? No, I don't. I don't even know exactly what that means. But we don't. There's no customization of anything going on here. So the Clippers go down 2-0, 3 straight series in a row. Kevin, I don't believe so. I don't think they do. I think they're going to find a way to pull this game out in the fourth quarter. If not, can you imagine how much the Devin Booker legend will grow if he comes back with stitches on his nose and puts like 12 fourth quarter points on and helps the Suns win? It'll just be like, he's Kobe. He's Rocky Marciano bleeding out there on the court. Did you see him? Let's erect a statue in Phoenix and we'll wrap him in some sort of like Aztec. Like, it will be insane craziness of what will happen if he comes back and does this.
I don't even know if he will come back. That looked bad. That looked pretty, like his nose was literally like split in half. Unless they just throw like a mask on him, like stitch him up quick, throw him one of those, give him one of those Batman Rip Hamilton masks, and
Yes.
see what we can do.
Yes. Absolutely. Those Rip just started wearing those after a while. He got his nose broken so many times. He was just like, this is how I live now. Like,
Yeah, and that's we remember him with the guy with the mask on all the time, no matter what.
Phantom Rip. If I saw him in real life, I'd be like, bro, put the mask on. I can't see you without the mask. Like, it would be like seeing your childhood hero, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I know
Right?
who you are, Clark Kent. I know. I see through those glasses.
Yeah, it's like wanting to meet Batman. You see Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Nice tux, douche.
Yeah.
Richie Rich. Yeah, Ayton is going crazy here. Can somebody get me an assist total on Devin Booker too? Let's see. Devin scored 1 3-pointer from deep. Media. Oh my God, this is the new Steph Curry and Dame combined. Oh my God.
Booker's got 11 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds in 29 minutes. Okay. Ayton's got 20 points and 11 boards.
Ayton continue. When Ayton came out in game 1 of the Lakers game, the way he played, I was like, there's no way he can do this again. And then he did it again, and I was like, okay, all right. But not a third time. And then he just kept on giving work all the way through. He has not stopped in the playoffs whatsoever.
He's been an absolute beast. I mean, Paul George is even struggling here. 14, 4 and 4. I mean, you need a lot more out of him right now than that stat line.
He's not been good, and I don't know what his turnovers are, but he's got quite a few turnovers tonight too. Yeah.
Zubac, 25 minutes tonight already.
And how many points? Like less than 4?
Oh,
wow.
Why isn't it letting me press this here?
I don't even know who just scored the ball.
No,
I don't even know who that is for Phoenix. Okay, I gotta get a little depth chart in here. I hope it's somebody's name that I can pronounce. Paul George, nice.
Yeah, Zubac's got 8 points. He does have 10 rebounds though. Did not know that.
Well, he's 7 feet tall.
He should, yeah.
That's
True.
what you gotta do. That's your job. If you're not gonna score or stop Ayton once on a lob, then you better be doing something right. Saric. Just talking about that confidence. End of the third. Phoenix has got a lead. I got to figure out this guy's. Oh, this is Eton Moore, right? Yeah, never mind. My bad. Didn't know he was wearing number 59. Eton Moore. But Moore hasn't played at all in this series. And he just comes in and he looks confident. And he attacks the basket. That's the thing. That's the successful teams continue to attack. They continue to attack. They're not afraid of anything. The moment they don't settle, they keep going hard. All right, we got a 4-point lead. I think this is going to be a great fourth quarter.
I think so too. I mean, I think it now relies on does Booker come back? Is Paul George is he going to enter the game? 14 points. I mean, dang, like they need a lot more production out of him. But if Booker doesn't come back, I mean, the Clippers the Clippers have to win that game, or they're screwed. The series is done.
Yeah, that's what HQ and I believe Fell said the same thing. Was that like if you think about it, if they lose both games without CP3 and Kawhi doesn't come back, and all of a sudden you get CP3 back for Game 3, it's like it could be a short series.
Right. No, I'm saying more. I mean, if Booker comes back and they lose, then okay. Like obviously Kawhi is way more of a loss than CP3. Granted, CP3 has played amazing, but if they don't have CP3 or Booker for more than a quarter, and the Clippers are only down 4, like they have no excuse. They gotta win this game.
Yeah, especially if you go read the box score and they're like, Eton Moore played the final 12 minutes and gave the business to the Clippers. It's like,
yeah, right.
You can't let that happen. Campaign's one thing. He's been doing it the whole time. But it can't be guys that I had to go look up who was wearing that jersey number because I forgot.
Computer's acting really weird. I can't even get the stats up here.
Yeah, mine's been funky all day too. It's not. I will say it's a lot. It's so much easier. I appreciate Joe Morley and Mike on the mic so much more now when they're just in here and they got these things. HQ wants to clarify something. So remember how I said the Suns might sweep? I don't remember that exactly, but was that based on if they won tonight and then CP3 came back and no Kawhi? I remember something like that.
I still think the Clippers will take a game if that was the case. I don't see the Clippers getting swept. They'll have to take one game in LA. I mean, that place was bumping last series. It's going to be tough to go in and win both of those games. That's why they have to win this game. Because if they win this game, man, I mean, the series is wide open, even though they still desperately need Kawhi, I think, to win the series.
Yeah, I would say definitely to win the series, it would be nice for Kawhi to be back in the game,
Oh
and I would feel
man.
better about that. But this from Fel, who's the most important player in this game? And I say PG. Um, yeah, I would say it's got to be him for me or Reggie Jackson. Like Reggie Jackson's gonna have to come out and put some points up. Oh, wow, great way to start the fourth quarter.
I would
Got
say
ourselves.
Booker, man. I would say he's the most important player. I mean, like the fact that the Suns don't have him now.
He's back out. Oh, you're not. It hasn't started for you yet, but the fourth
He
quarter
he's
has
in.
started, and he's returned to the floor. Devin Booker's in. He's got the tape. Looks like they went with like tape and glue. I don't see any stitches in there right now. He's got a little bit of the tissue in the nose to stop the blood.
Yeah, my stream is freezing now. I might just call it quits and just follow here on
I'm even a little bit ahead of the YouTube stream by about I don't know. Let's say like 15 to 20 seconds or so.
I'll follow
But
your
yeah,
play by play.
there you go. So we had Saric down in the paint again, and Mann had to give him a real hard foul across the top of the hands. Right now on the floor for the Clippers, you got Rondo, Mann, Batum, George, and Luke Kennard, who opened up this quarter with a nice deep three. PG settling for another three off the back iron, and Devin Booker grabbed a rebound, and he just blew a little snot rocket. He didn't really. He didn't, but how cool would that be if he just
That
snot
would
rocketed
be.
on somebody? Oh, Torrey Craig misses a bounce pass underneath, but collects. Gets the ball back out to Campaign. We got 6 on the clock. Attacking Paul George. That's the crazy thing, Joe, is how aggressively confident the Campaign has been. He's been like the most impressive, surprising player of the NBA playoffs. He's got 25 points tonight.
No, I know. It's been crazy. And he's done it every game. Like he's been impactful at almost every game, especially his 3-point shooting has been superb. It's been surprising. I mean, guys like that who step up are reasons why the Suns are playing so well.
Saric, he just shoved over Batum, stole his lunch money, and got an easy basket under the hoop. Like, it was just, I don't get it. I don't get how this guy's bullying people under. I get that Batum's not a big guy, but like, you realize that people are watching this Batum. Like, you just can't get punched out of the way. Paul George getting a couple fouls. It's good to be aggressive. He's now laying on the floor. I'm gonna wait to say Floppy Flopperson before. I'm gonna look for some blood this time.
Yeah, right. Gotta pause yourself this time just to make sure he isn't gushing blood out of his nose.
Yeah, he comes down. Comes down to maybe jammed up the shoulder a little bit. I know he's had some shoulder problems in the past. That is his shooting arm that gets a little jammed up there. Hopefully that gets him going. 7 of 19, 0 of 6 from 3. That's got to change.
Who is that?
That's Paul George.
Yeah, that's got to change.
Rondo just gave him the phantom pat on the ass. He's just like, come on, let's go. Just gave him one of those long distance little wah. Down 5, under 10 minutes remaining in the game. Devin Booker has returned. Paul George hits the second free throw. It's a 4-point game, 9:56 to play. And Campaign is like, welcome to my world. I'm going to let you guys live in it for a minute. Going down low to Saric, who's now like, he's got Paul George on him. Kicks it back out to Campaign. Long on the 3. Torrey Craig initially had the offensive board, but It's getting sloppy, ladies and gentlemen. It is getting sloppy out here. Back-to-back turnovers. Craig turns it over. The Clippers turn it over. Devin Booker's fouled at midcourt. Reggie Jackson getting back in the game. This is what we need right here. Sunglasses. I wonder if anybody sponsors him. Like, you think Oakley reaches out and they're like, hey, let me make some game-worn protected shades. Like, is he
They
big
should.
enough? I would. Might start my own Tony Tucker Shades company and just try to get him on.
That's like his image now with those shades. Literally.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Let's pad Devin Booker's stat line. He's fouled on a 3 from Terance Mann. I don't know. Was this? He might have been in his landing space, maybe, or something. I need to see it again here. Off the screen. Couldn't stop his momentum from what, Van Gundy? I didn't see any contact on the play. You missed the shot. You missed the shot, and then you do one of these like, oh, he was right there. Come on, ref. It's my landing spot. And they do that thing where they buckle.
That's the. I thought they were going to get rid of that. They said.
I think the competition committee is going to look at it.
Got to. It's terrible, man.
All right. So it appears Devin Booker isn't the only one with a bloody nose. Out. Of nowhere, I got one. Well, that's not good. Put down the booger sugar. Aren't you like 15? Come on. Let's go. Get it together. Piggy bank picks in here cheering for the Suns. I want to cheer for the Suns. I just hate them with a fiery passion right now. Zubats finally with a dunk, my friend. Oh, we got Ray Lynn jumping in here too. Big basketball. Ray, you give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. In his nickname pandemic plea or playoff pay private chat. He's good. All right. Welcome to the live stream. Raylan, a friend that I met through a friend. We've been talking a lot of hoops lately. Ray, this is Joe. Joe, this is Ray. We are watching game 2 of the Phoenix Suns Clippers. How you doing, Ray?
Joe, what's going on, Tony?
Not a whole lot. How you feeling about how this game is shaking out?
Oh, man. The Clippers need to do something and do it fast. And fast.
Yes, I agree. Because Devin Booker's having an off game and no CP3, and they're still losing by 6 points. That it can't be the case. You can't have Booker have an off game. You can't go down 0-2 for the third consecutive series, too.
And I would feel so bad for my guy, man, because now, no matter how great he played to get them here, like some would say they had no business getting here anyway once Kawhi went down. Like if Paul George, they're going to kill him tomorrow. They're going to kill him tomorrow.
Yeah, they've already kind of started doing that. I feel a little bit in the chat are reminding people, people are coming back and saying that pandemic P or playoff P. Who are we getting in the fourth quarter?
Here tonight.
Can you hear that?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're down a bit. This is Felke. This is not the guy who did not have Tim Duncan in the top 10. I would not bring that person. I would not bring that person into this chat. There's no way I would bring.
Yeah, that's
person.
absurd.
I was telling them that I was talking to somebody and they didn't have Tim Duncan in their top 10,
Well, that's
and I
absurd.
was like, I don't know how to continue this conversation with you.
He's very underappreciated, man.
I agree. Got a 6-point game. Lucas Kennard. Finally, I told you all he had to do was transfer a little bit of that $64 million into his Venmo so he could buy a couple threes here in this half. Luke Kennard. Maybe he switched over to PayPal, but whatever it is, he's got it. He's buying buckets here.
Oh, this
Got a 3.
perfect.
Saric having the game of his life. As a Lakers fan, I want to lose to the champs. How do you feel about that, Ray? You're a Lakers fan too. Would you be happier that you lost to the champs? Does that mean anything to you?
It's like 6 degrees of separation, man. Everybody lost to somebody who lost to somebody who lost to the champs at some point, right?
Yeah.
I'm not pulling for Phoenix just because I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not gonna feel no better or worse that we lost to the champs. If anything, it's more of a man. I don't want little LA to win, but
I told Joe this is my theory because I hate both of these teams. I'm just rooting for complete and total devastation. Like whatever team is winning, I want the other team to win on like a last second three. Just to like really snatch, just make the fan base agonize the way I did when AD went down and everybody was like, told you the Suns were going to win. Really? You told me that after AD got injured?
It's weird though. I think this is Greek's championship to lose anyway.
Well, I think he needs it. That's what I was talking with Joe about before was like, I think the two guys that need wins the most is the East. It's obviously Giannis, to get to the finals, and CP3. CP3 really needs to get to the finals.
But hold on? But can we pump the brakes on that with Giannis though?
How much longer do you want me to pump the brakes for Giannis? Like how many more years?
Did you see the post I did?
I didn't see it.
His career path is right on. Is like I'm talking year for year, right on path with some other great player. LeBron drafted 2003, won his first MVP 2009, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, won his MVP 2010, lost in the second round. Giannis drafted 2013, first MVP 2019, lost in the Eastern Conference. Like his career path is just like LeBron's. Won his MVPs at the same time, was losing in the same rounds around the same time. And in this year in LeBron's career, he still hadn't won his first championship. At this point in Giannis' career, LeBron lost his first year with Miami, so he still got time. But I don't think the doors are gonna like the basketball guys have smiled down on Giannis, and it's his to lose. Nobody's left.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, he ain't LeBron. This ain't the same thing. And LeBron went to the finals with the Cavs, and you can use the bad Eastern Conference argument all you want. He's in the same bad Eastern Conference. No, LeBron is in.
He's not, though.
How do you figure?
Because LeBron was in the Eastern Conference in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Giannis is in the same Eastern Conference that LeBron just left 2 years ago. And when LeBron left, Kawhi came. When Kawhi left, KD came. He ain't never been in the same type of Eastern Conference as those guys. Like LeBron was in a whole different thing.
The team that LeBron made it to the finals against in the Eastern Conference Championship was the Pistons that had just been in back-to-back finals and beaten the Lakers like 48 months or 24 months before that or whatever it is. Like it was that was a good team they beat.
The Pistons are an anomaly though. Like in a sense that in this league, right, the league is built on star power. You look at the last 30, 40 years, you have to have a superstar to win a championship. The Pistons are they're the exception to the rule.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this comment that came up that I didn't see. I like it. I like the post. I like the comparison. I see where you're going. I also want to see. I think he's talking about me because of how I want agony and I want loss and destruction. I always want one of these fan bases to feel the pain, the anger that I felt. So in Game 6, I don't know if I told you this, Ray, I was getting so mad when they started getting blown out. I went out to my garage, got on the treadmill, and I walked like 7 miles and just like was angrily like working out during that loss because I was just pissed that everything was falling apart the way that it was. I was angry. And so now I want somebody to just feel that rage that I felt for 2.5 hours. All right, Devin Booker's back in there. They got him. They put a little towel over him, and they fixed the bloody snot rags. This is another thing I was talking about before you jumped in here, Ray, was like how confident all these young kids for Phoenix are.
Yeah.
It's a lot of confidence.
They're not afraid of the moment at all.
Oh my goodness. Zubats. Zubats is he's 7 feet, right? Or he's a big man.
Supposedly.
So, like, you got to finish that one. Are you streaming? Are you behind me? Like, Joe was behind me. And so
Well,
I was like,
I don't know how ahead you are. So I am streaming, but it's like right on par with the timing that's up in the chat.
okay.
So are you ahead of that?
Yeah, I'm ahead of that about 15 seconds.
Ain't gonna bother me none. Ain't neither one of these my teams. You could tell me what happened before it happened. I ain't gonna be
All right. Yeah, Zubats just got. He should have had a flush. It should have been an and one there, and he gets knocked off of his spot by Jay Crowder. I don't get that. Like, I don't get how you allow somebody who's that much smaller than you to affect you like that. And everybody's been doing it. Saric was doing that to him earlier in the game.
Hey Tony, it could be worse. he could have just not tried to dunk it. Oh man, look at Booker's nose. Jesus Christ. They showing the fan. I'm behind you with the Steve Nash shirt on that looks like Booker's nose.
Yeah, exactly. They both ended up with busted schnozzes. We got a question here from HQ. Would you consider Trae Young a superstar? I'll let you take that.
No. Then again, I mean, you're like, this is a personal thing. My definition of a superstar is much different than a lot of other people's. I think we overuse the word way too much. Like, everybody can't be a superstar, because then if everybody's a superstar, I mean, something has to make you know what I mean, stand out beyond other players. I think he's very good. I think he was snubbed for All NBA. But he has to do this for a little while longer before we jump to that conclusion. And he had a lot of help getting to this Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't even mean help on his team. I mean, the other team helped him get to this Eastern Conference Finals. So, and he played awful in Game 7. But he's very good. Trae is good. I would say he's a top somewhere between 4 to 8 point guard in the league right now. Superstar, not quite, not yet.
No, I'm with you. I think that when there's too many people at that level, Pat Bev showing off the range, maybe a shot to the head, fix his jumper, although he's been pretty good. I would agree with you, though. I think that the more elite that you make that top level of saying what a superstar is, to me, that does something for the other people that are in that category, and also when they achieve that status. Nice drive, dish, kick by Booker, good ball movement and campaign. But again, Zubats beat on the offensive glass. Lucky they missed that one. 3-point game with 5 minutes to play. Reggie Jackson misses it. Coming back the other way. Phoenix confident. Coming up the court like they ain't got nothing to lose. There's another comment that came here, another question. I forget what it is. Phil K. KD is a better scorer than LeBron. You're not going to get any argument from me there. Oh, supposed to be a skip pass in the corner, a little miscommunication. Booker throws the ball away. Here we go. HQ put this up for you. I think it was for you. Or me. I'm not sure.
No, not even. First off, I don't think Kawhi's playing another game. Yeah. PG-13 is borderline, and I'm a huge fan of Paul George, but he's borderline. This is the same guy we've been calling pandemic and way off P for the last 2 years. He hasn't performed when the time called for it. Devin Booker's just on this stage for the first time. And Chris Paul has come up short throughout his whole career. So, like, all of those guys, like, and again, I'm very harsh on using that term superstar. Like, for me, and I did a post today saying it's Greeks finals to lose with a league built on star power. Steph Curry didn't make the playoffs. Kawhi's injured. LeBron and AD lost in the first round. Luka lost in the first round. Jokic lost in the second round. KD, Harden, and Kyrie gone, Embiid's gone. There's nobody left in Giannis' way. Like, if you talk about the top 10 players in the league, Giannis is the best player left in the playoffs, and he has his whole roster fully healthy, minus DiVincenzo, but he got his main guys. Like, it's Giannis's to lose. He's the biggest of stars. However you want to label those guys, if you want to call people stars, superstars, Giannis is the biggest star left in the playoff.
Yes, I agree. Like I said today when I was talking to Ryan, and you were in that chat, was that I mean, I got them over the Hawks in 5 or 6. Like, he really should have no trouble scoring. They have a pretty good defense, right? Like, I think they should be able to shoot the 3 better. They're at home to start the series. They play better at home, so they should be able to get off to a good start and be able to head to Atlanta with some confidence. And then in the NBA Finals, like, I don't see either of these teams putting up a huge fight. And then we get a chance for my boy Chris Middleton to, be in the NBA Finals. Dominate.
He's gonna have to show up big. But yeah, and I think I did another show before this one, and I was telling those guys, man, there isn't a 6'10", 240-pound guy on Milwaukee that's gonna spin baseline and then pass it. Like Ben Simmons and Doc Rivers had a lot to do with Atlanta being where they're at right now.
Yeah, Ben Simmons' performance there was like it did 2 things. One, it's like it ended the idea of whatever this process thing was, but then it also like showed that Doc Rivers not being willing to make the tough move, like not being able to make the adjustment. I was talking about this earlier. Like Tyrese Maxey should have been on the floor in the 4th quarter of that basketball game.
When you're on Ryan's show, I was talking the same thing about Gobert. I just think that's super difficult, man. And I don't envy that position for a coach to be in, to have to bench your $100-200 million guy. Like you pay these guys that kind of money to perform in these type of situations, and it's like that's a super tough call as a coach to make, to bench the guy that got you here, right? That's tough. That's
okay.
super.
But let me put it to you like this. Sure, the first game, no. Game 4, 5, no. Game 6, you think about it, especially with the way Maxey's playing to force a game 7. And then in game 7, when he passes up a layup or a dunk under the basket, I'm sorry, but he can't be on the floor for me anymore. Like he's shook.
You know what's crazy? Like if you recall, if you watched the game, when the 3rd quarter started, Ben Simmons comes driving like a freight train down the middle of the lane, goes to the hole, and it looks like an and one, but they call a charge. And the announcers are like, see, I'm okay with that. If you're a coach, you're okay with that. He's being aggressive. And then you just never saw it the rest of the game. Like, I really thought he was like about to have a moment where it was like, he's going to go for it. And it was like, no, man, Ben Simmons is awful. Jesus Christ.
It was, but that's the kind of thing. Like if you were, it's like when I was younger, if I was like feeling really good and I was like going to go up and I was going to ask this girl for her number, and then like as I got closer to her, she just turned around and walked the other way, it was going to be a long night for me. Like I wasn't going to have enough courage to talk to any other young ladies for the rest of the night. He gets a charge that early in the 3rd quarter, he ain't going back. He can stand on the wall for the rest of the night, just like he did for the 3 games before that, and do nothing.
So, and then it's like, okay, this is where I get caught in the middle on, like, even earlier when Ryan was talking about, well, Steve Nash is, and I'm like, how was he supposed to fix that? Like, what do? You draw a plays for Claxton and Brown now? Like, no, that's not what they're there for. Like, you're stuck with what KD was doing, right? Like, can Doc Rivers even fix that?
I feel better that Doc had a chance, because you could have put in a combo of George Hill, Maxey, Seth, Claxton. There's other players. There's nobody on the Nets. Like Nash was like in the middle of a wild, rapid river with no oars. Like he was like everything was put in those 3 guys, and when they started falling, he had nothing. Nobody to go to. Tyler Johnson, the white Coolio? No, he had nobody to go to.
Like my stream is a little behind. You're like, Steve Nash was in a river, and I'm looking at them show the video of Steve Nash nose get broken, blood is flowing like a river. I'm like, oh, look at the timing on that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've been saying for a few years, I'm friends with a lot of Philly fans, and they say I was hating on their team, and it's like, no, man, those guys just don't work. What Ben Simmons needs to be successful are the same things Embiid needs to be successful, and they aren't each other. Like they both operate strictly in the paint. They need a bunch of shooters around them. I think Ben can be successful in this league, but this wasn't it.
I believe that too. And some of the trades that I've seen, I think it would be nicer to play in a place like Indiana, or play in one of these smaller markets. Philly can't be an easy place to play. Like he updated a profile today where it said like, hey guys, you realize this is just entertainment and whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, but this is where entertainment is gone. Have you watched a boxing match, Ben Simmons? I just watched Lamar Odom beat the crap out of a boy band kid the other day. It's like, it's all like turning into a freak show, and fans are getting more participatory in the action, and their comments are echoed between platforms like this or Twitter or whatever. Like, it's just better to not be in for the Sixers for him.
I really like when athletes start saying stuff like, "Oh, it's just like Russell Westbrook earlier this year. Oh, well, I don't have to win a championship. I won it." Like, listen, bro, we criticizing you as an athlete. Don't nobody care. Like, yes, it's entertainment, but this kind of comes with the territory. Yeah. Like, you're an athlete playing at the highest level on a big stage. Like, people are going to criticize you.
What the? What was that? Oh my good! This is the kind of thing that that gets Pandemic P trending, and it's not even his fault. This is it's going to catch up in a second. What is this? Why are you? I think it's still their ball though on the replay. I don't get that. Why are you even throwing the ball into Zubats?
Oh Jesus Christ!
What the hell is that? Get the ball to Reggie Jackson. What the hell?
Oh man.
Well, that's the kind of devastation I'm rooting for right there. I forget where I was going or what I was. Oh, it was about Ben Simmons. Yeah, I agree. If you're making $200 million or whatever over the next 4 years, and you're not making free throws,
that's off Ayton, by the way. Go ahead.
It is, but then the other angle they showed, it looks like Zubac's touching it as it goes out of bounds. It's a weird.
I think that's it looks like Ayton's foot to me. Man, they're both wearing red shoes. No, that's Zubac's foot. That red shoe.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the very end, it looks like he touches it right there. Like it looks like he kicks it. I don't know.
I love it how the players start pointing as if that's going to change anything when they do.
They do that all the time. It doesn't matter what it is, football, basketball. You always just point your direction as if like you're wearing the team jersey. We know your bias. We know you think it's your ball.
Listen, I referee, right? And every ref got their own little way of doing things when they go out before the jump ball, or even in football when you go out before the coin toss or whatever, and you give your little spiel. I tell the captains all the time, man, listen, I've been playing sports my whole life. I ain't never seen a ref change a call because you mad about it. So you can say whatever you come to say to me, just save it. Like it ain't gonna change nothing, man. I was watching these guys yelling and pointing. Hey, man, they gonna look at the replay, bro.
Oh, this is a comment from earlier. I think this is for you because I've already answered it. Oh no, I answered it to Boston. But how would you feel about Cat to the Suns?
For who? For who?
I don't know.
That matter. He's a huge upgrade from Cat to the Suns as constructed. If you swap Cat with Ayton, I like them a whole lot. You swap Cat with Ayton with no Chris Paul, and I like them a lot.
Yeah, I think Cat's versatility definitely makes them better. I don't know. I've become a fan of Ayton in these playoffs, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's played very consistent. Cat's just a different level of player, and I think surrounded by some legit superstars, he could be special.
Ayton plays to his strengths. Proof that you don't have to go out and shoot threes to be effective. Ben Simmons, you just need to be aggressive. Ayton plays to his strength. I think against LA, man, I think he shot like 60% against us or something crazy. Yeah. That was a bigger number than that. It was a bigger number than that.
I don't honestly don't even remember him missing. Here's another one real quick. Do you think small market teams like the Pelicans are at a disadvantage? I do.
Absolutely. And the collective bargaining agreement was supposed to change this, right? When you're the New Orleans Pelicans and your superstar that you drafted is 2 years in and there's rumors that he doesn't want to be there. And in an interview, he gets downright giddy at the idea about playing in New York. If I was a Pelicans fan, I knew at that moment he wasn't going to be here long. Did you remember that interview? He was like, "Oh man, I'm glad you asked." Like he's happy about playing in New York. Yeah, they're at a disadvantage, man. Young guys, they don't want to. They want to live life.
Oh, we got Beverly down again. Whistle. Is this foul number 5 on Booker? Booker looked too I don't know. They're going to show the replay. Booker's going. Arm. Oh, we got a flop. We got a flop.
Beverly's good at that.
Yes. He slapped him in the armpit, and Beverly's grabbing his mouth like he got hit in the mouth, and he's laying down like, oh, wait, never mind. I take it back. He got an elbow in the mouth. I did this earlier too. I called Booker Floppy Flopperson, and then he came up and he had blood all over his nose. I was like, oh no, I take it back. I'm sorry, brother. But he does get him in the mouth a little bit with the forearm. I don't see any blood in the mouth, but it does look like he got him. We got a minute 6 in a 3-point ball game. It's coming down to Devastation City.
These playoffs have been amazing. There have been some great games, man. There have been some great games. The Philly Hawk series, I didn't think it would go that long, but it was great. Milwaukee and Brooklyn was great. We had a first round. What was the first round series in the West that was really good?
Even the Clippers Jazz series, I thought was pretty entertaining for the most part. Like, it's for them what they did. Like, I think what made it better was there was no Kawhi, so it was like, what's happening? What are they doing? How is this working like this?
Right. I will say this, man. As far as small market teams, you got to be lucky. But it's been shown that you can. Everybody wants to hit these home runs in free agency. You can build through the draft. We watched OKC do it. We watched Golden State do it. You can absolutely build a championship caliber team through the draft, and everybody just swing for the fences in free agency. And it's not. I mean, that's where they're at a disadvantage. Nobody wants to, go to these small market teams as a free agent, but you can draft KD, Russ, and Harden. You can draft Steph, Clay, Draymond. Like you can build a team through the draft.
Yeah, but it's kind of the reason that I want Dame to leave Portland, because they didn't draft ... after Dame. They've drafted crap, kind of. Not really. Don't get me wrong. Like, CJ's good, but he's not that guy. So I don't like it when Dame does all the loyalty stuff. I want to see him, well, he still has prime basketball, play somewhere else. But I do agree with you. You can look at this Suns team. If they don't move Ayton, they got Ayton and Booker in the draft. They got Bridges.
The problem is, though, to build through the draft, your team has to be bad, right? When Dame was drafted, it wasn't a draft and build around Dame. Dame was a piece to be built around Aldridge at the time, right? And I think Roy might have still been there, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. But then something weird happened. Portland became good. And ever since then, Portland hasn't missed the playoffs. So Dame hasn't been in a position to get lottery picks to make them better. It's kind of like the Hawks in the mid-2000s, where they're just good enough to make the playoffs, maybe win a series or two, then they lose in the first round. They're too good to get good draft picks and too bad to compete. So it's like, what do you do with that? That's been the Portland Trailblazers. They haven't had the opportunity. You got to think, KD was drafted. Then they get Russ as a top 5 pick, and they get Harden as a top 5 pick. Portland ain't had no top 5 picks since Dame been there.
No, they haven't, and they won't. And I think the Brandon Roy thing wasn't he out with the first sort of big knee injury or something? Like when they got that pick, it's the David Robinson theory. Like, David Robinson goes down for a year, they're bad, and then they get to draft Tim Duncan. Like you can benefit like that every once in a while. That's kind of what I thought might happen with Orlando, or not Orlando, but with Golden State. And then they draft Wiseman, who I like. I don't love.
But there wasn't. I mean, what else were they supposed to do with that pick? besides traded.
That one chat is in here. I feel like this one chat. I feel like somebody sent this person here to come in here and bother me. Oh, we got a block. Zubac's finally paying dividends on the floor, going back the other way. PG aggressive, giving the Clippers a lead for the first time since what, like the second quarter? 30 seconds left, and everybody's over there.
Now this part sucks because my stream is on PG at the free throw line with 50 seconds left.
Okay.
No, I'm good, man. Go ahead, run with it. You got to do your show. Like I signed up for this. I'm with it. It's okay.
No, PG goes aggressive, almost loses the handle, but is able to get to the rack and finish. And we got a timeout here. Clippers 101-99 with 30.9 seconds to go.
I want you to get my real-time reaction. Oh, Zubac with the block. That's my real-time reaction. Like I just saw it. Like, oh, yes. P with the he might have traveled too. You know, nothing to travel these days, but
they're all traveling now. Giannis is like they're like Giannis with the Euro step. I'm like, that's like not that's like a Euro step to like the
went everywhere in Europe
continent step. Like that's like a that's around the world air balloon. But I don't know what the hell this is. All right, so we got Suns won't survive. What do we got here? Suns won't survive OT because Devin will foul out. Yes, Devin is carrying 5 fouls right now. We got that one Chad. What is this? My first time in here on I don't know. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. I thought maybe somebody sent that one Chad in here to troll me as a friend, but if not, Suns fan, Devin Booker is very, very good.
Speaking of, do they not have the best fans in the world? Did you see the second video circulating?
Wait, I just missed what happened and how they got down here and scored so quickly. What the hell?
Man, mine's still on commercial.
It's something to do with Devin Booker. Like they came out of commercial in like a whisper, and then all of a sudden, oh no, they just made it quick. Yeah, that's nice. I won't ruin it for you. That's nice. That's Devin Booker rising up. That one, Chad, you're just in time to watch your boy with a bloody nose. I just love the Suns. Well, welcome to the stream, my man. We appreciate having you. We'll be doing more of these. Yes. And your boy just rose up and crushed a shot from the mid-range. He is a master. Him and CP3. And I'll say this. I haven't said many nice things about the Suns because that one chat, I'm a Lakers fan, and I am still bitter about how the Suns dispatched the Lakers. So I'm not going to lie. I want to see them lose. But the mid-range game, which is not a big part of basketball or as big of a part, CP3 and Devin Booker, they got that shit on lock. Like what they did against the Nuggets, what they're doing tonight, is good. There it is. He says, understandable. That one chat, I appreciate it. We can get along, even though we're on the other side.
Did you see? I know you saw the first video of the Suns info video, right?
He just wrecking that kid.
Did you see the second one?
I didn't see it. No,
it's another video of some Suns fans fighting some Clippers fans. Man, they fans is they riding for their team, man. They are.
I have not seen it. I'm too damn old to be fighting. But I will say this: he grabbed that kid by his like fake 2 chains necklace he had on, and from what I read, it sounds like the Nuggets fan started it. He just ended.
Yes, and then he just held on one hand and told his homeboy, "Hey, you might want to get him up out of here." Suns in 4, like, yeah, it was great.
Suns in 4, guy. Suns in 4. Ray, I don't want to ruin this for you, but PG just rose up. We're seeing 2 guys that struggled tonight make some big shots at the end of this game. Yeah, I hate the Clippers too. So like I said, really don't care as long as somebody hits a last-second shot to ruin it for the other team. And right now it looks like the Suns are going to be that. That one Chad says, it's been 28 years since they've been in the playoffs. About damn time. That is right. I remember cheering for the Suns when I was little, when it was like Dan Marley and Charles Barkley and Danny Manning and whoever was on that squad. He said, "Yeah, I saw that clip of them fighting." Chad's like, "Keep it on the low, but that was me knocking people out." Good for you, Chad. We won't tell them where you live. We got your back, brother. A lot of people coming in to the stream. We appreciate that. I don't. I need my other guys are better at promoting, but the subscribes and the likes and all that, it helps us get to our goal. We're trying to get to 1,000.
Are they reviewing on yours right now?
What happened?
Are they reviewing this?
I don't know about reviewing it, but I'm just saying, like, towards the end of games, a lot of people start to jump into the stream. The chat is free, by the way. As you can see, that one chat is over here blowing us up. If you have comments for Ray or I, put them in the chat. What have you thought of this game? What do you think of the injury? Who do you think is going to win the series? How long is it going to go? Ray and I would love to entertain all of these questions as this game finishes out here.
No, I meant review this play. Like, obviously, I'm just catching up to you. The Patrick Beverley, Devin Booker play.
Yes, they are going to review this play. Scott Foster is like, he needs more time to celebrate his Como.
That is off Devin Booker. In real time, that's off Patrick Beverley. But in slow motion replay, it is definitely off Devin Booker.
I didn't even watch. I was over here in the comments.
Definitely off Devin Booker.
HQ's in here giving me a hard time. Because I just keep calling everything a flop. I just keep calling all these guys out for flopping. It doesn't matter. But like I will say this, I don't like to go the old head route where I'm always like when I used to watch basketball. But some of these fouls, they weren't fouls when I was watching basketball.
So hold on, let's stop that. It's all there. They've always, the only thing that's changed is what constitutes a flagrant. Fouls have always been fouls. Like some of the other stuff. Oh, by the way, y'all were talking about this right before I came on. The offensive player. Have you seen the new rules that's supposed to go into effect next year?
I knew that the rule committee was meeting. I did not see who it was.
They literally might as well name these new rules the James Harden rules. Like it's 3 or 4 of them, and they all center around offensive fouls when you trying to draw fouls, kicking your legs out, grabbing a player's arm when you go up to shoot, all of that stuff. They talking about offense. I mean, it's literally all stuff. Like it's a picture of James Harden and then the rules.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like these things didn't used to be fouls. Is like a lot of times like you just get hands on them a little bit, right? And they're calling fouls on guys. Like a guy who bumps into you a little bit and now it's a foul. Like a lot of these things, and it just seems so exaggerated because everybody's into flopping. And I'm a big LeBron James fan. I don't deny it. The guy's flopping all over the place. Like there's a lot of that going on. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these things, they weren't fouls before. And I do agree, like, the overarching point is that the flagrant has changed. That foul where Jokic gets kicked out of the game, that wasn't bad.
It's a play on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't an ejectable foul. Especially, that's your MVP. Like, if I'm the NBA, I'm having a talk with the officiating crew, and I'm like, hey, come on, we're trying to market this guy. Like, really look at it.
You in a game 4, you eject the league MVP on a questionable, like it wasn't like it was egregious. It's like, come on, man. Where's the star treatment? Where is it?
I don't know. The comments are coming in too fast. I need help. Is Mike Tyson's knockout somewhat? It could be called. It could be called a flop. Thank gosh you're not coaching boxing. Never coach boxing. This is some BS. Joe's just getting in here trying to stir the pot. Mike reminding him where he is. What does boxing have to do with basketball? That one, Chad. I think they're both just like making fun of me because of how I am. What's fouls? What constitutes fouls? But that call was overturned. We have returned from all of it. PG is at the free throw line with 8 seconds left. Oh, we got a pandemic moment.
He must have missed.
He missed the first free throw. Devin Booker over there standing close by, maybe getting some new Kleenex. There's a sponsorship deal for Devin Booker. These guys got to capitalize on the opportunity. He needs to get with Bounty and be like, when I got my bloody nose in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, I stopped the bleeding with Bounty, the quicker quilted picker upper.
I'm trying to find these rules for you too, so I can tell you what the new rules is they're talking about instituting next year. But I promise they're all just James Harden rules.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Full pandemic. It's full. Oh, and he's cursing. We don't need a hot mic situation to figure out what he's saying. He's upset. Mike, I see you in the background back there. If you want to come on, if you want to jump in, do it. He's good. We got 7 seconds left. Paul George just missed 2 free throws, which would have made it make one of them at least makes it a 2-point game. You miss both of them.
But he's been really huge in the fourth quarter. Everybody's gonna forget that now.
I know. I agree. I was one person when they won the first game without him. I was like, you guys gotta lay off for at least 24 hours. Then they win Game 6. He plays really good again. And I'm like, come on, give the guy some love. I thought he played well. He wasn't as aggressive in Game 1 on Sunday, I believe it was. But what is going on in this game?
It's a moment for Booker. Is it a moment for Booker?
Chad, I think the worst possible scenario is going to happen, and Devin Booker is going to hit a game-winning 2-pointer. He's going to hit a game-winning jump shot right here. And Felke, who predicted the Clippers, he had the Clippers tonight. That's rough. I also picked the Clippers. I had the Clippers 114 to 108 in my prediction from our YouTube video. Please go there, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Devin Booker gets the ball into the corner. Bridges. Oh, they're going to retain possession, and they're calling for another review of the play. But as it stands right now, it's Phoenix ball with 0.8 seconds after that. Pat Bev trying to see if Devin Booker's okay, put his hand out, and D Book was like, keep walking, bro. He was like, I got to go over here. Like, he didn't want any of that. He wasn't trying to be.
All right. Let me watch all of this after I've got the play-by-play already. This is great.
Oh man, this is a pretty wild finish to a game. Like, I mean, starting from like a minute 30 when Paul George almost threw the ball away, trying to inbound the ball to Zubats. Don't understand that, but they get the ball back. Free throws, big shots are made on both sides.
Yo, I just saw what you was talking about. That's why I like Patrick Beverly, man. He's all about the spirit of competition, bro. He like, I ain't trying to hurt nobody, you know.
Yeah, no, and I was saying earlier, I don't know how that stuff doesn't happen more often with him. Like, you know, like he's so kind of like all over the place. Like, how does that not happen more?
I need the up close slow mo. It looked like it was off Aiden, but I can't tell.
I haven't gotten that yet. Yeah, it does look like it's off of Aiden, and if it is, that's gonna be a real.
Throw the ball in, tap it up in the air.
Yep, that's it. That's all you got to do. And they can even
try and catch it and shoot no free throws.
Even up the series. And then my brother-in-law is going to blow up my phone. I told you. He's a Clippers fan. He's a good one though. He's a good Clippers fan. He's a good.
Fail K, I got some bad news for you.
What'd he say?
I just don't want Bucks or Suns to win the NBA championship. Giannis about to add a championship to that resume. He has to, doesn't he? Like, he has to. He overcame the biggest hurdle. He got over KD. Nothing left supposed to be like.
Okay, they ruled Suns ball, and they put a 1/10 of a second back on the clock. Do you want me to hold my reaction for you to watch it in real time?
Yes, please hold your reaction.
I will be stoic, and I will just watch.
Because now we're talking, the game. This is what you wanted, though.
This is what I wanted. Devastation. somebody's gonna, some fan base.
I did find those rules. They will now be calling offensive fouls on a shooter who launches, leans into a defender at an abnormal angle. Offensive foul on a shooter who kicks his leg at an abnormal angle. Offensive foul on a shooter who abruptly jumps backward or sideways into a defender.
What?
Okay, somebody must have hit a game winner because he couldn't stay stoic.
I couldn't. Oh my gosh. I would. Oh, I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh, it's about to happen right now.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck has happened? Did it go off yet? Did it go off?
Oh my goodness. Okay, sir, we can go ahead now.
Isn't that a goaltend? Isn't that like above the rim? Like what just happened? That one, Chad. Yes, this is what I was talking about. Somebody to be devastated, and this is devastation. Zubats on the floor again. That's above the cylinder to me. Like, is that legal? Can you grab the ball right there? I mean, it doesn't contact the basket, obviously, but if they're looking at how much time is on the clock, it looks like they're going to get about 0.5 seconds when the ball goes through because it touched. But they say every time the ball touches your hands, 0.4 seconds is supposed to go off the clock. So if that is the case, it's 0.5 seconds, which means the Clippers are going to have a desperation heave the other direction.
This is the Derek Fisher moment.
This is the Derek Fisher. Tim Duncan hits that big shot, goes back the other way. This is.
You don't remember the Tim Duncan shot, man.
This is ridiculous. Yes, the Tim Duncan shot was even crazier too because he's falling sideways,
and he's at the top of the key, almost at the 3-point line, and he's not a shooter from that kind of range. Okay.
Yeah, especially now when he doesn't have the glass in his favor to make the bank. You know, like, to me, I'm just kind of curious as to what the rules are. But again, Zubats, who's not good in this game, really, gets beaten again by a superior player on the lob. That's
okay,
and
I didn't want to hold you up. Like my it had froze for a second. I just saw it. So it can't be a goal, Tim, because it's not a bounce play, right? Like there's no ability of it being a shot. I mean, they couldn't have threw that pass any better.
Oh man, you know what's the crazy thing is that the free throws would have made that play not like you couldn't have made that play. You know, like you would have had to jack up a three if he makes the free throws. Like it doesn't. Whatever your narrative is on Paul George, you'll find a way to make it this his fault. Like
absolutely. They will.
He's played some nice. Basketball in the fourth. He's made some shots. Like he's not played a great, outstanding game. But I mean, that's the kind of play that you want to play. When everybody comes to celebrate your life right there. Catching a lob in the Eastern Conference Finals for a game winner. Right there. Thank you. Look at that. Look at Mike being able to this is what I needed. This is what I was missing. I need people to be able to do this. Can't quite see the shot clock, but that one, Chad, I'm happy for you, brother. Let's go, Suns in 4.
Is the game over on your end yet?
It is not. It is not. They have reset the clock to 0.7 seconds, and we're going to get
So you mean to tell me 0.2 seconds came off?
Here's the thing. They don't have a timeout to advance it.
Right, but I'm just simply saying 0.2 seconds came off.
That's what they're saying. That's what is the ruling. So they're getting everybody together. It's 0.2 seconds, so you technically have time to gather and shoot. As long as it's not Brook Lopez you're throwing the ball to, they should know how much time is on the clock.
Hopefully.
And everybody in the arena should be aware you do not have much time. You have 0 seconds. You have tenths of seconds. This ball must be thrusted into the air. And I don't know if they're going to try and go with the Grant Hill to Bobby Hurley to Christian Laettner.
No time for that.
Yeah, there is not enough time to catch, turn around, and hit a fadeaway. Like you almost have to do a full court alley-oop the other way.
So this is the thing, though. They didn't have a timeout, right?
Eat it, Joe.
If they didn't have a timeout, they shouldn't be able to sub. Right? It should have to be the players that were out there before they reviewed it.
Yeah, I believe that is the rules.
Because I see them putting Boogie on the floor. He wasn't out there, was he?
Yeah, but he's not. He's gone back to the bench.
Oh, well, on your screen. On mine, he's still out there.
Yeah, no. I know what you're saying. I think he was trying to get in, but I think Monty was, and the Suns coaching staff was like, hey.
He wasn't in the game. That's what it looked like Monty Williams' lip said. Yeah.
So he's out. But now they're still over at the monitor. For some reason, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. Throw it to the baguette. Let's throw the ball over to the Frenchman.
It's all a setup for this dramatic playoff P game winner is what's going to happen.
All right. You heard it here. You heard it from Ray. Playoff P, the 0.7 seconds on the clock. PG going to change the narrative. I don't think Jay Crowder is going to let that happen.
I have full screen my screen, so I can't see your reaction. So as long as it's not loud, because on the last one you were just Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're still over at the monitor. They're still replaying stuff.
That means, like, from my screen, if they're still on the monitor on yours, that means they're going to be here for a while on mine because they're at the monitor.
Wait, I think they can't put Reggie Jackson in the game because they actually did have Boogie guarding the inbound, it looks like, on this last replay they had. But now or like Pat Bev. I don't know what's going on, but they're...
Okay, Boogie was in the game.
Yeah, but now he's not in the game. I'm not sure.
By the way, that was an offensive foul on DeAndre Ayton as well. He done grabbed that man jersey and yanked him all across the floor.
Suns win game 2 and Suns in 4 is still alive. What the fuck? What the fuck? All right, you let me know.
Well, I know it wasn't good because you're like you. Oh my God! Like,
no, yes, I would have. I didn't know if we were big screening, if I was muted, if what was happening. They tried to run. It was almost like an NFL play. Like it wasn't really there. But D Book and Ayton having a little chat, letting them know what time it is. They get both games. For the third consecutive series, the Clippers go down 0-2. And Suns are confident. They got to be feeling good. There's no CP3. And Devin Booker has a bad game by anybody's standards. And they win at home and on a last-second play on a last 8.
There's no way Phoenix is up 2-0 without Chris Paul, not the MVP. Not the MVP. Not so.
I will say that does hurt my argument quite a bit. It does hurt my Chris Paul argument that they're up 2-0.
Yeah, but hold on, I'm looking at this. I don't think they went down 2-0 against Utah. They didn't win 4 straight.
Yeah, they did. Utah won
We
the first two games.
did.
They won the
We
first two games
did.
at home. The Clippers had leads in some portions of the early fourth quarter in both of those, or second halves in both of those. And they won four
Wow.
straight.
Wow. Pandemic Pete. They're gonna kill him tomorrow for them free throws.
Yes, tomorrow it will be nonstop about how he didn't do whatever. But again, like Zubats, they had zero answer for. They're interviewing Aiton right now, and he's like, "Yeah, I just put my career highlight." This run has consisted of Devin Booker and Aiton playing beyond where we thought they were at this point. At least I won't say we. I'll say where I thought they were. That's the thing that's been so impressive to me. I didn't know that Aiton could play with this consistency.
All I know is this: Clippers are down 2. They go into their locker room like, got it right where we want them. Again, I mean, obviously nobody wants to keep trying to come from behind, but if any team can feel like we're capable of coming from back down 0-2, I mean, it would have to be the Clippers, right? That would be. They've done it 3 times in the past 2 postseasons. They did it last year. No, not last year. They didn't do it last year.
Well, no, I think the stat is that Kawhi Leonard is the only person who's ever come back multiple times from 0-2, but now the Clippers have done it twice this year. I believe Kawhi did it when he was with the Raptors against the Sixers.
No, it was against the Bucks.
Was it the Bucks?
The Bucks won the first 2 games, and then they just dog walked them for 4 games.
Yeah. We saw that. And Felke, you're right. I do see the comment on there. 50% free throw shooting. You can't make an excuse for that. I don't. That's part of my issue when I watch the Lakers games is how bad they are from the free throw line. How come Tony won't say it? Won't say what? Suns in 4? Won't say how good the Suns are? Joe, enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your vacation. Don't use your vacation time to troll me. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the bright lights of Las Vegas. Get out of here.
Are you doing a live show tomorrow for game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
I do not know about that yet. I have not talked to my partners in crime, but if I do, I'll reach out and see if you're available early on in the day. I would like to talk about this before we go. Were you able to find those Harden rules? Because I do think
I think your mind was so far into. I read them. I think you were so locked into what was going on the TV.
Yes.
But yes, so the rules are, as a matter of fact, I can forward it to your messenger if you want to be able to put it up on the screen.
It would be sent to Mike, but I think I will do that because tomorrow I have a live show tomorrow, Sports Force tomorrow at 2:15 Pacific, 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be talking about this game and so much more in the world of sports on Sports Force. So many other great shows that'll be coming out this week. Friday Night Wars is going to be live this week. We got Fantasy Football Boot Camp. Go back and watch our Into the Crosshairs. It's an NBA show that we just had on our YouTube channel today. And, subscribe and engage and let us know for people who are looking to reach out and collaborate. Let us know where you are at on that. I forgot. There was something else I was going to say.
No.
But I forget what it was.
Well, here you go. The 3 rules are NBA plans to implement in the 21-22 season. Offensive foul on any shooter who launches or leans into a defender at an abnormal angle. Offensive foul on any shooter who kicks his leg out at an abnormal angle. Offensive foul on a shooter who abruptly jumps backwards or sideways into a defender. The James Harden rules.
Every time you said something, I kept thinking of James Harden, number 1, and Trae Young, number 2. Right, and there's a little bit of Luka in there. Luka starts to do some of that stuff now.
I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it because of the lighting, right? But the way that it was posted, can you see the 2 people in the picture that they put up when they posted it?
I'm gonna send you. Actually, I'm afraid. Yes, I can. That is perfect.
Yeah,
it is perfect.
Those are the 2 people they put up because those are the 2 people who do those things.
Yes, and there's no way around it that these things needed to change.
But you know what though? they said they were going to change the swipe through, right? Like the whole when you're like this with the ball and the defender's hands are out and you swipe up through his arms, they're like, oh, we're not going to be calling that. They still call it all the time. Like,
Yep.
I've even seen games where the ref has to kind of think to themselves, like, oh man, that's not supposed to be like, so they don't make it a shooting foul anymore, but it's still a foul, like, so it'll take some time.
Ray, my computer is starting to overheat and I'm getting glitchy here. I appreciate you joining me.
Yes, sir.
Jumping in. We shall do this again soon. Mike, can you do me a favor? And whenever you get a second, play that funky music because my computer is like freezing up. Like it's completely gone. Everybody.
Warning. Warning. Warning.
Get ready to rumble. Step into the